And I got a black screen. Doesn't like it. That's pretty funny. It is. I'm just gonna play around and see if I can fix it. Yeah. Oh. Oh, wow. Jeez. All right, I'm good to go on my end. I guess there's just a lag when you're sharing to Skype and to OBS. It like after like 30 seconds, it kicked in. So, welcome to my Twitch channel. Yeah, totally. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is Boba Fett. No, yeah, this is Boba Fett, not the Mandalorian. Although he's a Mandalorian, not the Mandalorian. Yeah, this is a commission I owed somebody, so I was working on this. I gotcha. Oh yeah, favor. I was looking this up earlier. I think it's favor. I'll tell you real quick. Oh, it's actually kind of it's Fravor, Fravor. So it's full. Yeah, the Pentagon released it officially. Yeah, it was a leak. Yes. Something went wrong in that process. Yeah, I think so. I think the actual encounter happened further back. Yeah, it happened in 2004. Yeah. $18 years ago. Yeah, I tell people that if you were born in like the 1980s, everything is just 20 years ago. It's like the math doesn't work in your brain. Yeah. The official statement is so they have a new name for them. The official statement it is officially an unidentified aerial phenomenon. So it's a UAP. Yep, because they can't call it a craft because like they basically can't call it anything. They yes. Oh no. It's supposedly well, I don't know that this one I don't think so. There are other stories of some of them actually being submerged. The story I heard was that and I think it was from the same interview. I think it's from that Joe Rogan podcast that he did. And he's talking. I can't remember if it was him or someone else, but he tells a story of them going to like retrieve some kind of buoy, and they basically lost the buoy, and they're pretty sure they lost it to one of these Tic Tacs under the water. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was a torpedo, like a yeah. Okay, you're probably fresher. Yeah. Yeah. It does happen. We lost it. Yeah, it's just gone. Yeah, it's like a very bureaucratic, very old school business. Yeah. Yep. They move pretty quick. I mean, all things considered, they move pretty quick. Oh man. What do I think it is? That's hard. I aliens? Uh Extra dimensional beings? I don't uh, yeah. Well, and that's something that the Pentagon report that they released officially with the video says is like it basically said we don't have anything that can do what this object did, and we're like 99% sure that no one else has anything that can do this either. Well, they don't know. They don't know how it works. It seems to defy the laws of physics. Um, like nothing it does is impossible. It's just we can't do it with any kind of propulsion that we have, and without like killing the person flying it. Yeah. I, yeah, I would imagine so. I mean, it gravitational or electromagnetic, like there's some kind of force at work that, yeah, it's definitely not like running on oil and tiny explosions. Oh yeah. Well, that yeah, they could like yeah, they would have already taken over the world with these things. I Go ahead. No, that's such a creepy description too. Yeah, and like the motion that he was describing when they first saw it, like the ping pong ball in a glass bottle that you can't see, like that seems to me like it would kill a person. Like we can't take the G's or like the acceleration forces of just instant starts and stops. Yeah, it could be. Oh yeah. Well, and like my personal opinion that I can't back up with anything but my opinion is that they're all drones. Like I think they're extraterrestrial, but I also think that they're mechanical. and like I think it, people talk about the singularity and like people merging with machines. Like I think that's what they are. Like how, yeah, because how else do you either get across the universe to get to us, or how do you survive the kind of maneuvers and stuff you're doing if you're not, if you're non-biological in the sense that we know. And like, and to me, you can go two ways with that, because there's like, okay, they're non-biological, they're like super advanced AI from another planet, like some race made machines, and the machines got smart and moved off planet, and now they're checking us out. Or you could just be like, what if it's like the freaking spirit realm DMT creatures that people see, which those are both like equally interesting to explore. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, whatever. I think it's a non-human intelligence for sure. And and he, yeah. So 20. So add 20 years on top of that, and we still can't do what these things do. One of the things that I thought was interesting, because like I said, it's been a while since I've seen that episode, but I read a lot of the declassified report this past week, and like I'm real interested in like the physicality of these objects, like especially when they get tracked on radar or tracked on like the infrared, like happened in the Nimitz case. And one of my favorite UFO events to talk about is they call it the Belgian wave, and I think it happened in the 80s, and it was basically a series of sightings over Belgium, and everybody saw the same black triangles. Yeah, and there's a great old Unsolved Mysteries episode about it, and they like have legit sources, and so there's the thing was tracked by like French F-16s, and they have it on radar. It drops from like 5,000 feet to 50 feet, doing 6,000 miles an hour, which is like, that's like ridiculously low to the ground. You're talking like not even within human tolerances to do, like we can't operate at that speed. Like, was it that fast? That's funny. Yeah, but what was cool was, or what stood out was when I read this new report. Evidently, some of the radar returns from the Nimitz sightings, because there were more than one. Like there were a couple. We just have video of one. Supposedly, one of these objects was going 26,000 miles an hour. I'm trying to like Google something that's like more in terms. So let's see. So a bullet is 1,700 miles per hour. So it was going twice as fast. No, it was going like 11 times as fast as a bullet. So it went from 1,700 miles per hour to 26,000. So 26 times faster than a bullet. Yeah, like you just like nothing like that. And that's where like physics starts to get weird, because you're like, okay, what can even go 26,000 miles an hour? Right. It basically, you basically are like controlling the laws of physics in a way. Yeah. Well, and like I could like techno babble it into an explanation that like half makes sense, like just based on like sci-fi crap, but like does that work in the real world? Like I don't know. Oh, it's Arthur C. Clarke. It's a any advanced intelligence will be indistinguishable from magic. Yeah, it's magic. It's Thor in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They're just so advanced that they like you think they're aliens, but it's like weird, unexplainable science. Yeah, yeah, the Tic Tac. Yeah, I think he said 40 feet. Yep, yep. Yeah, it seems like a truncated cigar shape. So like like round on the edges, but not as long as like the old cigar craft that people like me have seen. Yeah. Oh no, like I mean, I think about it all the time, which is probably weird to say. Um, but you know, it's one of those. I tell people that it's one of those things that you forget that you know. Like, like I'll be doing something mundane, like walking my dog or something, and like I'll remember having seen it, and it's just like, oh, and I liken it to an expression I heard that I can't remember where it came from, but someone was like, "You asked me if I believe in UFOs, and that's like asking me if I believe in cars. Like, I don't need to believe in them. I've seen it." Yeah, which is like, you know, it's just poor choice of words for the most part, but it's that kind of feeling of like, oh, you don't like. It'd be like if you saw Jesus, you know, like, oh, like, you know, me as an atheist saying that, it's like suddenly like, oh no, Jesus is very real. I saw him, but my something mythical, yeah. You know, I don't want to offend too many people, but you know, for something that like you can't prove and it's based on faith, you're like, oh, I don't have to take that on faith because I have this memory of witnessing it. Yeah, the shapes change, but yeah. Oh yeah, that like description is super common actually, and that's one that goes back pretty far. The cigar shape, like the like it used to be a lot of like pre-American civilization, especially pre-World War II. There were a lot of like ball shapes and cigar shapes. It seems. Um, you know, it's hard to say that there's any kind of like typical kind of sighting, just because like even you know even historical records, there's like all shapes and sizes and all kinds of behaviors and um, you know yeah, some of them are weird and creepy, and some of them could be you know easily explainable, and then some of them seem more like mass hallucinations. um, yeah, it gets weird, but yeah, the modern like saucer shaped UFOs didn't actually start until uh, right around the time we were testing the atom bomb. The here me wait, what were you watching? Oh yeah, like they were like months apart from each other. Yeah, so what they call like the American era of UFO sightings was June 24th, 1947, and that's when Kenneth Arnold was flying his small plane and saw what he described as silver saucers skipping on water, but in the sky. And the media went with flying saucers. Yeah. He might have. Oh, oh yeah. That's one of those ones that seems like a mass hallucination. Yeah, I'm really familiar with that one too because it's just so weird. Yep. Well, it was shrouded in a lot of religious, uh, uh, yeah, totally. Like whatever it was told them that I am the late I'm like your savior, come to give you a message. Yep. Cute. Like yeah, like try like it's funny because it's like they're almost like platonic solids a lot of the times. They're cubes, spheres, pyramids, um, cigars, like elongated, spheres. Um, yeah. Oh man, that one that he was talking about. It's funny. I actually, when I heard it, I got this idea to do a piece about it, and so somewhere in my sketchbook there's a sketch. But yeah, they describe like giant beach balls. So like, I was picturing this thing bigger than an airplane. But yeah, they described it as like a cube in a clear beach ball, and they would come down from space. They'd come down to like, what do you say, like 50,000 feet, and hover for like a few hours, and then just go back up. Yeah, like they don't care. They just hang out because what are you gonna do? Yeah, yeah, a ton. Yeah, but evidently, there's like, I mean, I'm not privy to like the military stuff, but like, it makes you wonder if you can track that, like, can we track the heat from these things? Do they go into space to dissipate the heat? Like, because like all energy creates heat. Like that's pretty much like the one thing you can't mask is like thermal signatures. There's a really cool video. I don't know if you've seen it. It's actually really similar to the Tic Tac one, um, but it's from a Department of Homeland Security helicopter. I think it's a Black Hawk, and it's in. I want to say it was in Puerto Rico, but they were out on a training mission, and they got a contact coming in from the ocean, and they were like, well, let's see what this thing is. There's not supposed to be anything there, and you can see it. It's like a little light on the horizon, and they tracked this thing over the island for several minutes. It might have been half an hour, and it behaved a lot like the Tic Tac did. Um, um, as I don't know the size of it. You can't tell from the video because there's no reference. It's like they're filming a thing floating above a city in infrared. I'm gonna see if I can find a screenshot of it real quick. So that's yeah. So let me finish that before I get sidetracked. So yeah, so it comes in, and it comes in from the shore over the city. They start tracking it with infrared. At one point, it stops, like dead stop, and then yes, it releases what looks like a cloud of heat, and it's like it starts venting, and then it slowly kind of slides across the sky, and it leaves like a little miniature contrail of heat that you can see on the image. And then super interesting also is they track it, so they keep tracking it, and it goes back out to sea. And as they're tracking it, it leaves being over land, and it's descending as it's going towards the ocean. And it's also on the video, it moves through the water without slowing down, like at all, like completely, just like the water's not even there. Yeah. Yep. That's a similar story that Fravor says too. I think is that they're just out training, and they get a ping, and they're like, well, we're here. Let's go. Let's just go see what it is. Like it can't be anything serious because there's obviously not there's no like aircraft in the area because you'd see it. Like it's almost like this thing was already there, and like you said, probably been hovering there for hours. Yep. That's what he says. Yeah, he's like drug runners. Yeah, and then it becomes apparent, like, oh, that's a weird thing in the water, like jumping around erratically. Oh God, yeah. Yeah, there's like a moment where your brain glitches, and it's like, okay, wait, this isn't what I expect to see. I have to like spend a little extra processing power. Yeah. Yeah, like, and this is the guy that you trust on that kind of stuff, right? I mean, he's the one out there flying these missions. Yep. Yeah, like he's not selling a book. He's already retired. He's not trying to make a second career on the like paranormal circuit, which a lot of people do. Yeah, it's really compelling. One of the things too that gets lost because like the footage is so compelling, right? Like you kind of just get lost in it. But at the very beginning of that footage, you can hear one of the other guys go, "Look on the scope. There's a whole fleet of them." Yeah, like in another location. Yeah. Well, it seems to me like there's two kinds. There's whatever those big, beach balls or cubes in a beach ball. Um, but then there's also like these like fast ones, these like small, quick guys that are kind of what we have in fighter jets. We got big slow aircraft carriers, and then we've got super quick nimble fighter jets. Like what does the mission call for? There you go. Mm-hmm. And there have been sightings of that. Yeah, there's. Oh man, there's great old footage, and I'm talking super old. It's probably from the 80s. There was a series of sightings in Mexico City. Um, there was something going on at the time too. It was like I think maybe like the Olympics were happening or something. Maybe it was a military parade. My memory's not the best on some of this stuff. Um, but yeah, so there's footage from all over the city over the course of a few days, and what it looks like is just spheres in the sky. It just looks like a metal sphere is floating, chilling, hanging out. Yeah, and so there's probably a couple dozen like old crappy VHS home movie quality images of these things. But in one of them, yeah, a bunch of these things basically line up together and turn into a cigar shape, like a cylinder. They stack on top of each other, and then they ascend. No, they just stack. Yeah, I was wanting to. That's why. Yeah, I was. As I was saying that, I was like, I don't want to give the impression that they like shape shifted, but they all stacked on top of each other. But oh yeah, I think that's his name. Yeah, and that's what Bob Lazar says too. Is that the the consistency and like build of the material suggests that it's like all one single piece. There's not like, there's not seams, there's not rivets. It just everything kind of flows into everything else in a yeah, that's what it was. Yep, exactly. I think eventually you will. I don't know if you'll necessarily print. I don't think you'll print your tools, but I think you'll print your parts. Because I don't know if you've ever done any like handyman work, but like you can't have you can't have weak tools. Like you'll find out really quick, well, like why your cheap hammer is cheap. It's because it's gonna break after you hit some shit. My biggest thing is finding um, for my car, because I work on my car a lot. I have to have like really legit socket sets, because if the metal's too soft, like the car just eats the socket up. So I look at it that way. Like you'll have to have high quality tools, but yeah, you'll just like get a 3D print of your part. Nice. No. Oh wait, yeah, you did. You were having trouble, and you told me later. Yeah, what it ended up being. Yep. I don't like Bob Lazar. Yep. That's what I don't like about Bob Lazar. I'll be honest. It's kind of that. It's like he's very avoidant with certain questions that should be easy to answer. He hasn't been wrong, but I I can't tell you anything he's been wrong on. But he's also said a bunch of shit that you can never prove. Like he's yeah, like he's made claims, right? And they could be right or wrong. Like we don't know yet, because we don't know. Like we don't know if this stuff happened at Area 51. We don't know. Yeah, we don't know about all that stuff. Like there's a name for this philosophical argument of a thing you can't prove, but I can't. It escapes me. But it's that. But there's also stuff that you can prove that he hasn't proved. Like he claims they have gone to MIT. MIT says they have no record of him. There's places he's worked that say, yeah, no, we don't know that dude. And like, it's really easy to be like, oh, well, of course that's what they want you to think, but it's like, yeah, but MIT doesn't care if you went to school there. Like, they don't have a vested interest in keeping UFOs a secret. If anything, you'd think they would be on the forefront of that kind of publicity. So yeah, so for those reasons, I don't necessarily believe him. He does tell a compelling story though, so I see why other people would. See, it's so weird to me because like I don't mean this to sound like a flex, but like I knew about Bob Lazar back when I was a teenager because he's been telling that story since like the late 80s or early 90s. Yeah, like, and back then I didn't believe him, and I guess I've just kind of carried that over. Yeah, no, oh, totally. That's it. Yeah, yeah. I had this conversation with some buddies of mine that stream on Twitch. Like a lot of times we hop into like a group voice chat, and we were talking about my buddy Sal, who, if you're watching, Sal, what's up? He was working on a Mothman piece for a client. And so we got talking about the Mothman, and then we got talking about Skinwalker Ranch, which is a whole other bag of worms we can go into later. But while talking about Skinwalker Ranch, someone said, I brought up that anytime there's a UFO story, there's always like a part of the UFO story that they don't tell you. And the example I give is from a really old sighting, and I think back in like the 40s or 50s, this dude who lived out in the boonies called up the cops and reported a UFO sighting, and I think they laughed him off, but eventually like a UFO researcher came out to talk to him and was like, okay, tell me what's going on, tell me what you saw. And he says, well, I came outside, I look across my field here. There's like there's a spaceship, a flying saucer appears to have landed in my field. It's shaped like an egg with 3 legs, so it's like on stilts. So it's like an egg on stilts with a door that's open, and there's like 2 or 3 little men outside the craft. Actually, I'm gonna take that back. It might have only been one man. At least one man. There was at least one being outside the craft mucking about. Well, it saw him. He says it saw me. Got in the craft, closed up the door, legs retracted up, and it zoomed off into the trees and disappeared. Which, fuck, he saw me. Yeah. And like in and of itself, that's a pretty, like, especially back then before like, stories like that were common, or you could, lift that from a movie. Like, that's a pretty disturbing tale if it's true, right? Like, it's weird. It's like, it's pretty fucking weird. It's real fucking weird. So, years later, 20, 30 years later, some other UFO investigator comes to talk to him about the sighting because he's writing a book too, and he wants the story in the book. And he talks to the old man, and the old man tells him the exact same story. And down to, and he said this in the first version too, that there was like a sigil on the door of the egg that looked like hieroglyphic Arabic, which is another rabbit hole you can go down of people who think that UFOs are angelic and demonic. But he was like, well, I didn't want people to think I was crazy, so I left the part out of the story where the egg flew off through the woods. He was like, it didn't fly off through the woods. It flew off through the trees. As in, it didn't move and it just passed through the trees like they weren't there. And to me, like, those little details are like what really, you know, because up until then, it's a super explainable, like, oh, you might have seen aliens. Like, you know, quirky, little green men. And then you're like, wait. They went through? Like, how do you phase through a tree? Like, is this fucking Kitty Pryde here? Like, what's going on? Yep. And like at that point, you're basically manipulating matter. Like, the yeah. Yeah, and thought it was too weird to tell the UFO researcher. No, they're gonna think I'm crazy. Like, forget about the little green man, you know. Yeah, I mean, there have been... It's hard to interpret. There are Aboriginal tribes that talk about like the first creators, and they're what you see painted on a lot. Like there's like a certain style to how they depict the beings. Let's see if I can bring up an image. Yeah, here you go. So these guys, I got them on screen. You know, these big-headed, big-eyed creators of life. And yeah, some of these are cave paintings. I think most of them are rock paintings. Just because of where they're at. I don't know how. No, Australia has cave systems for sure. And I'm sure some of these are like not legitimate, probably pieces of art made recently, but this is the style. Oh no. Yeah, so I was saying this is like the style of being that I think of when you ask about like cave paintings. Oh man, let me refresh my memory. Well, yeah, it's all aliens, don't you know? Oh yeah. Yep. Statue of Liberty might still be around. Oh, you know what'll last the longest out of everything we've built is actually the Hoover Dam. Yep. Yeah. And it'll actually generate power for a very long time. You know, barring some like earthquake that just totally destroys it. But like those turbines are made to just go and go. I think it was one of those like Discovery Channel like end of civilization after people shows was like, oh yeah, they're like, you know, like 5,000 years later, it could theoretically still be running. Yeah, it was like thousands of years. Yeah, so. But yeah, no, if you want something to last, you build it in stone. Yeah, car's a couple hundred. Yeah, it's a lot. Like, not a lot's gonna survive. And even at those time scales, even like stone breaks down because of like erosion and Oh, like the really big ones, like the monolith-sized stuff. Yeah. Yeah, it's probably a little wishful thinking. There's plenty of obelisks and stuff we can't explain already. You know, there's like the Maori on Easter Island, like yeah, like who'd have thunk it? I know when we were kids that like we didn't, you know, we had no idea that that stuff existed. I remember there were video games of Maori heads in them. Forget. Yeah. Well, that's the thing about science. You never know if it's you never know if you're right or not. You basically just have like your best guess at that moment. You know, I'm going to tell you, it's difficult to make art and hold a conversation at the same time. Yeah, it's totally tricky. I'm not used to it. I was like, I sound like I'm baked out of my mind, but I'm just distracted because I'm trying to do two things at once. Yeah, you sketch a lot, don't you? Oh yeah, I do that too. Yeah, you're just like your brain's already working. You might as well get it on paper. Oh yeah, it's like it's batshit interesting. Remember when that show came out? I was so into that concept and that idea. Um, oh yeah, like I buy into it as much as I can. Meaning, like you know, there's no like there's it's again it's one of those things that you're never going to be able to prove one way or the other unless they like come down and show us a video of them helping us build the pyramids kind of shit. Yeah, exactly. But no, I totally think there's something to that. Um, I also think that there's a lot to be. I think I'm having trouble forming this thought. There's a guy. There's a guy who's also been on Joe Rogan. I'm pretty sure he's a geologist, but he talks about a cataclysm in the Americas. And so I think right now his prevailing theory is that this event that a lot of people talk about that happened like 12, 13,000 years ago was actually a comet or a meteor hitting North America. And basically wiping out whatever was here, which to me also makes sense in that grander story of like, how come there's this whole continent where like nothing technological exists? You know, American Indians were basically, you know, still, I don't know if you'd call it the Stone Age, but comparatively to the rest of the world, like, yeah, yep. But they were in this. It seems like they were in this weird in between phase that like the rest of the world went through you know, like 1,000 years ago. Um, yeah, and I've always kind of bought into the idea that like there was probably something here before even the Native Americans got here. Um, yeah, he's one of the ones that talks about it. There's another guy that talks about it too. Yeah, because there's like a story there of like you have to be prepared for this event that may come. Yeah, I wish I could remember the guy's name. He was also on the Joe Rogan podcast, which shows like how dude bro I am that I bring all this stuff up from that. But he also talks about there's a lot of ancient symbolism shared by different groups, tribes, and societies on different parts of the planet, about what he interprets as like some kind of massive cosmic event, maybe a pole shift, maybe like a nearby. I think they said like a nearby supernova, maybe too. But like he tells this twisty, windy story about how basically whatever this cosmic event is, the way it interacts with the magnetic field of the Earth makes it look like there's a big glowing man in the sky. Like it's these like symmetrical concentric loops that a lot of cultures end up drawing, and they end up drawing them kind of in the shape of a man, where it's like, you know, each loop is a limb with like a loop up top for the head. And I'm pretty sure he's done modeling on this thing, and he's like, yeah, we've modeled it, and you could absolutely get, you know, this kind of phenomenon, with this shape and this like look from this kind of cosmic event happening. Um, yeah, and if it was a pole shift, you know, it would obviously like cause havoc on anything electrical, you know, magnetic. You know, it fucks with the magnetic field of the Earth. It lets in more radiation. Um, he's angry. He's super angry. Yeah. Yeah, like you don't even know where to explain it. Um, I I had a thought earlier, while you were watching the Fravor video. I was watching, um, the one he just did with Elon Musk that came out today, because I wanted to be up on it. It was weird. I mean, Elon Musk is just kind of weird. I enjoyed it. Um, yeah, it's hard to. I mean, he like smoked a blunt on the last one, so that's hard to top. Um, oh yeah, he seemed super chill until they brought up the coronavirus stay-at-home orders, and then he got very like, oh, like you could tell he's pretty passionate about that topic, um, which is fair. It is for sure. I don't agree, but you know, yeah, it's true. Where it's all new territory, and we I don't know. I have very left leaning opinions about it. I don't know if you want to get into it. Yeah, keep this one. Yep, that's a whole other conspiracy theory we could talk about. Like, yeah, like I don't buy into it as a conspiracy. Like I just try to I try to think of it as like, what's the least amount I can do to help the most, and it seems to be like stay inside, just chill. I'm a hermit anyway, so. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I saw somebody tweet up some personality, and they're like, wearing a mask isn't a sign of respect; it's a sign of your submission. It's like, why do you got to be such an asshole? Just like, I don't know. No, not really. Yeah, like I'm. Oh yeah, dude. I think most people get it. The most I ever get. Yes, like well, most of it is explainable by like the scientific method to some point. I don't know. I have thoughts about the whole thing because it's like I the most I get to answer your question, the most pushback I ever get, because I go in pretty bold if I'm having a conversation with people. They're just like, "Hey, do you believe in aliens?" And my answer is usually like, "I don't need to believe in them. I've seen them." And the inevitable follow up question is always, "Wait, did you see like actual aliens, or did you see like a thing in the sky?" And then I explain that like, no, I've never seen actual aliens. I've seen several weird things in the sky that I am convinced are not human, not piloted by humans. I could be wrong, but that's the impression that I got. And it usually goes from there. People are pretty respectful about it. Oh man, which one? Oh yeah, yeah. And they always ask, "Well, what did you see?" And I tell them, and it's usually like, "Oh yeah, that totally sounds like a UFO. It's probably aliens. They're probably real." Like most people, I think most people's answer nowadays is, "Well, yeah, statistically, of course there's aliens. So could be, yes, no." I think that just comes from a overwhelming fear of shit we can't see. Dude, I'm not gonna lie to you. I went, I'm not a traveler, but I went to the beach for the first time, a few years back. Oh, it was great. I loved it. I didn't. I just went to Port Aransas. Oh, excuse me. It's on the Gulf Coast. It's like kinda. It's like north of Corpus Christi. Yeah. Um, and we went before the hurricane hit a couple years back. Evidently, Port Aransas got hit really hard. I haven't been back, but no, that was it was a fun experience. Like I didn't think I would love the ocean as much as I ended up liking it. Like, well, that's what I was gonna say. Is like it's great, right? Like you're on the beach and everything's cool and like things are awesome. I had the dogs with me, um, and like I'm super careful anyway, because I've never been in the ocean before. I don't want to fucking drown, right? Like I'm just very aware that this is my first time in the ocean and I should respect it. So I'm super careful. Don't go out too far. I pretty much stay on like the sandbars that you can hit. And then that was like, I think that was day one, or day two actually, because we got there late. And then day one was like intro to the beach, blah, 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 blah. And then day two was, okay, now we're going to go to the public beach where like all the people are. And we're going to get that experience, right? So we go there and we go out and it's fun and it's great. And we're kind of far out, but we're still like on the sandbars. You can still feel like if you dunk your head, you can feel the bottom. And there is like a flock of, I guess, seagulls, these big ass birds out there hunting fish. And I catch like glimpse of like a couple feathers in the water that they've shed, and I was like, oh, in my brain I'm thinking that's the perfect souvenir. Go get these big giant bird feathers, and that'll be like what I'll take that back, and that'll be my souvenir of my beach trip. Well, they're pretty far. You know, it was probably like, I mean, it was far at the time. It was probably like 20, 30 yards. Um, so I swim out and I swim out, and you know, there's like a dozen of them floating on the water, like the birds. And so I'm going towards them, and they're looking at me like, "What the fuck is this human doing?" And eventually, they all fly off, and I grab one of their feathers, and I turn around to swim back. And at that exact moment, it hit me how far out I was, and that I couldn't see my feet. Like, and I got like fucking terrified, like, you know, not like super terrified, but just like a wave of like anxiety hit me, and I was like, get back to shore, get back to shore, just swim back to shore, you're fine. um yeah, but they're not. Yeah. And that's, you know, that's one of those moments when you realize like the ocean is big and there are big things in it, and I'm really small. That's fine. That's funny. Yeah. Oh yeah. Ugh. No, thank you. Yeah. Like, I'm not gonna fall for it. Oh wow. Well, at least you were like, you know, you had the right attitude. Yeah, that was the. Yeah, I had a weird like existential reaction to one of the things I saw, just because it it you know, it defied the laws of physics. You're like, how your brain does that thing, right? Where you're like, I'm seeing it, but I don't understand how I'm seeing it. Yep. Have you ever seen anything weird? You ever had a paranormal experience of any kind? What'd you see? Weird. Gotcha. Yeah. Ah, that's funny. Like, what kind of crime? Like petty crime or what? Oh wow, okay. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, dude, it's like that down here where I live. Like, I saw a lady get her stash out from beside a abandoned house walking my dog the other day. I know. I was like, lady, like, wait for me to pass. Come on. You gotta pretend you see me. Just yeah. Oh, jeez. Oh, of course. How do you afford that? Right? What do you do? Suspect. I ended up working on this concept I had from one of my quarantine dreams. Because evidently those are pretty common. I'm not the only one. Oh, yeah. I don't blame him. Yeah. I don't have I'm politically minded, but I don't ever really dream about that stuff. Not a bad thing to be into. Maybe he'll end up being a politician and like doing some good. It's important. Really? You're like, it doesn't matter, it's all red. Yeah, not necessarily. We're real close to being a swing state. Yep. It's the one good thing they brought with them. Some liberal sensibilities. Yeah, it's weird being a liberal in Texas, especially like being like a straight white liberal. Well, yeah, it's true. It's true. I'm in the filthy, progressive city. But yeah, I'm drawing a quarantine dream, and so I don't know if you could see the rough, but it was like this kind of vibe. So what I describe it as is an orange sun boiling in a black sea, and the sea is like tarry, like it's thick, and like for whatever reason in my dream this was the end of all space and time. Yeah, and I was like, oh, that was weird. Just woke up. Both. It's like it's one of those, that weird dream logic where like I didn't think to question what it was, but I got like thinking about it now. It's like I see it as like the like kind of both. It's like the edge and the end. I haven't read it, no. Oh yeah, yeah. I've heard of that. Oh, cool. Enjoy. I seem to have entered a mode where I can't draw. Oh no. It's alright, this happens sometimes. It's like I'll have a layer off, or I won't be on the right window or something. Or I'll be in quick mask mode, which is a fucking pain. Yep. Yeah, all of that bullshit. My eraser works, I just don't know why. Oh, I know what it is. Yeah, I got it. I was on the wrong layer. I needed to be on the top layer, and I wasn't. So that's on me. But yeah. Oh yeah? Oh yeah. I thought that was a cool idea once I understood how it worked. I was like, oh, they're just stacking stuff like in Photoshop. So, oh. There's a, yeah, it was outside my my window here. Yeah. Hold on a sec. Well, thankfully you can only see my screen, so. Yeah, I don't know what it was. It sounded like a bottle breaking. Yeah, exactly. It's midnight, whatever. But yeah, this, go ahead. No, not really. It's actually gotten a lot better. I mean, not better. We've slowly gotten more traffic. Like it kind of died down when everybody went on lockdown. Like it was pretty noticeable. But now it's, I mean, it's not back to normal, but it's damn close. Yeah, we're gonna open up. Hopefully, a bunch of people don't get sick. Yeah, I do too, but yep. It just sucks because we didn't peak, so we don't know what our actual peak is going to be yet, and now we're about to add to it. Oh yeah, I know. I'm hoping for the best. It just worries me. I'm getting old and starting to worry about stuff. So what else? What other like? What else stuck with you from that interview with Commander Fravor? Yeah, yeah. Yep. Makes sense though. I'd want to see that stuff, you know, like how often. Oh. Oh shit. Yeah, she totally should have said something. Yeah. Oh man, I would have been too. Yep. Of course not. You're breaking up a little bit on your audio. Oh no. A little bit. It's just a little it's a little digital. I don't know if it's on my end or what. Yeah. We're both probably like maxing out our internet and CPUs at the moment. Actually, no, I'm only at like 16%, so. Right. Put some money in my account while you're at it, you rich guys. You could use it. It'll keep me quiet for longer. Yeah, so my oh, how what? Oh yeah, I mean, I think most pilots understand that there's stuff out there that is weird. And then the chance to see it, like I got the impression from him that he was like I don't mean this in a bad way at all, but it almost struck me as like a gearhead getting to see like the holy grail of cars. Well, basically. I mean, I would be, totally. The comics. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep. I was almost that soldier. Yeah. Yeah, that does sound hilarious. That'd be cool to add to my my weird collection of like, or my collection of weird magazines and stuff. I've got one about controlling the weather from like the 1940s. Yep. Yeah, it's super wacky. Yeah, I think so. It's hard, like it's hard to tell. You can only go so far back before you're guessing. I like your Tic Tacs in the sky there. Oh yeah, there are there's lots of like lights in the water kind of stuff. Yeah, personally, I think a lot of what they do is just like they're observing. I mean, why else would you have a giant beach ball hang out over the ocean for hours and hours? Yeah, I think so. No, they just have state of the art like cloaking technology that you can only see on infrared. You know, no big deal. Yeah, yeah, like a Tesla compared to like my old Corolla. Cybertruck. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say I agree with that because for two reasons. One, what do you judge it against? What, like, oh no, dude, there's all kinds of crazy shit if you go digging for it. Yeah, there's some weird stuff. I mean, like the sighting, like we were talking about the sighting at Fatima or Fatima or whatever. Like they described that as like the sun coming down from the sky and swooping over people and being so warm that it like dried their clothes. Weird. Probably. Well, when you get some free time, Google a UFO called a tumbler. Like like it tumbles. It's a tumbler. I've actually I actually had an experience with one of these things. I saw one time out in the country in the middle of the daytime, and the one I saw, at least, at a glance, it looks like balloons. Like, you know how someone like imagine someone has like a dozen black balloons, right? And they release those, and like that kind of weird like it's not one single shape, but if you look close enough, you can kind of like, oh, you're like, oh, okay, that's some balloons. But like when you just glance at it, it's weird. I saw something like that. And it was like dark gray. Well, I wouldn't even say it was dark gray. It almost looked like it was metallic because it would some parts of it looked dark and some parts of it looked like bright white, like shiny. But have you ever seen the movie Annihilation? Okay, that's not going to help then. You ever seen an example of a tesseract? Like, it's like the two boxes that move in and out of each other. It looked like that. It looked like a three-dimensional shape that was morphing as it moved across the sky. I forget what they're called. There's a name for what they're called. I'm trying to look it up. Let me see. What's it called? This was, I want to say, around 2008. No, maybe a little later. Let me think. Probably earlier than that, honestly. Probably. I don't remember. I'm gonna say 2008-ish. But it was when I lived at my parents' old place out in Princeton. A lot, yeah. And there's not a lot in it either. There's not a lot of air traffic. I live by a lake, so not much going on. Oh wow, that sounds fun. Oh, that's right. Yep. Yeah, they probably can't help it. Interesting. Nice. Where? Yeah, I believe it. They need people to. Yeah, they need bodies. Yeah, it's bad. Well, not a lot of artists working at places like that, unfortunately. Yeah, it's like when the Pentagon had to lower their standards a bit and start letting people who smoke weed into cybersecurity. They're basically like, we need hackers, and all the hackers are like, well, we all smoke, and you won't hire us, so. Yeah, pretty shady. Yeah, it just seems no one wants to fix it. It's like, we all know it's messed up. We all know that, you know, marijuana's not the boogeyman it was made out to be. It's not any different than, you know, I mean, God, it's better for you. It's not as bad as cigarettes. And you could, you know, you just treat it like alcohol and let adults be adults. Yep. It basically requires an executive order because they have to deschedule it. Yep. Everybody takes offense. No one wants to do it. Yeah, people are afraid of change. Yeah, I don't think they can. I mean, some can. Some, you know, it just depends. The government's gonna have trouble just because, yeah, they're a very slow moving ship. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I think so. I had this. Yep. Yeah, I don't think so. I know I have my own opinion. Like, again, it's just kind of, it's actually based on one of the guys, and I don't want to pimp it too hard because I don't like the guy who organized it, but it is the Disclosure Project, which is run by a kind of shady dude that I also have opinions about. But they legit got a bunch of older like Air Force and military personnel to all hold a press conference and tell their stories, right? And it's everything from, you know, hey, I worked in the nuclear energy department and we saw UFOs one night over the base, to, oh no, I've seen aliens because I've been to the crash sites and like cleaned up the debris. Like, it's that and everything in between. And based on what they said, my belief is that the government, specifically the Navy office, I think it's the Office of Naval Intelligence, or it used to be, and probably the Air Force, they know that UFOs exist. They know that they're a real, you know, thing. They have no idea what it is, and so they try not to make a big deal out of it. Because you basically would have to tell the American people and the world that they're aliens here, they have super advanced aircraft, and if they wanted to attack us, we have no defense. And you can't say that. They are armed. Well. Oh. Backwards. pretty much nothing we could do about it. That's like that's kind of the impression I got from just like reading stuff and yeah, like oh yeah. Yep. I mean, imagine Independence Day, but the ships can move, you know, as fast as they want to. Which, yeah. And like, but also because of that, like, I don't think they're a threat at all. Because if they were, like, yeah, exactly. Well, in that group chat I was in, somebody brought up a really good point too. Also referencing the movie Annihilation that you haven't seen, but it's basic spoiler. It's basically about like an alien intelligence at the heart of it, and so you get to the end of the story, and you know Natalie Portman's character has survived, and they're like, "What was it?" She's like, "I don't know." Well, can you describe its form? No, because it was this morphing geometric hallucination kind of thing. And that's a poor way to describe it, even. And they're like, do you know what it wants? And her reply is, I don't even know if it wants. And like, I have that kind of impression of whatever quote unquote aliens are. Like, I don't think I don't think they're concerned with the same stuff we are. Yeah. Like, how do you communicate with a bunch of ants? Do you even communicate? Like, do you care? do you have any kind of shared language that you can even, you know, attempt to start from? Yeah. And yeah, exactly. Like if I think there's probably a similar kind of vibe going on. But you know, that's a lot of assumptions too. Like, you know, it could. Oh yeah, like if that was a government or you know an entity, a corporation, like yeah, they can basically outfly the entire U.S. military. So yeah, and I think the answer is that like they're not like I think they're just kind of watching us. I try to be careful about falling into the trap of like romanticizing humans as being special. Like in the grander scheme of things, like you know, I don't think there's anything particularly special about like humans and Earth. Like I'm sure there's life on tons of other planets. Um, I don't know. Maybe we're weird. Maybe there is something quote unquote special. You know, maybe they just got freaked out when we started blowing up nukes in the desert. Um, you know, to your theory, maybe they help make us, and they're just kind of like keeping track, seeing how we're doing. Yeah, exactly. You know, you get the shitty shift, and you got to go to Earth for a couple, you know, years and document and study our dumbasses, report back, and then you get to go like to the go see the fun planet, you know, in some other part of the galaxy. Oh, it's absolutely insane. Yep. Yeah, that's like our best. That's like the tippy top for us, which isn't really saying a lot. No, not really. I I don't know. Yeah, no, I don't buy into any of that. I used to kind of entertain it, and I don't know, maybe it's just me being jaded, but like I don't know, I don't. Nah. Oh god, yeah, it's a great story. I think that's probably why I don't believe it. I'm just like, it's so good. There's no way. Yeah, pretty much. I like that first series a lot. I was gonna say I was about to look at your screen and see what you're doing. Shout out to Froyo Master in your chat. I don't know. I think that chat's old, but if you're still watching, Froyo Master, what up? Oh no! Do you have one monitor or two? That's what I'm working with. Oh, I gotcha. Yep. Are you on a Mac? You're on a Mac, right? Yeah, that's why. Surely they make some kind of adapter. That makes sense. Oh, that's fair. I've started. That's kind of what I do. Like before, I would basically go live, record everything, and then time lapse it, and then put it on YouTube. And so now what I'm doing is I'm recording my streams and then just time lapsing those and putting those up. Nice. Oh, dude. Rabbit holes. I love it. Really? Yeah, it does. That's kind of why I didn't want to talk about it too. And it's also like, again, it's something you can't prove. There's like, it's complete conjecture. So like it's hard to debate it without, like, it's hard to talk substantially about it without just making shit up and having wild guesses. Yep. Yeah, I don't buy any of that shit. I just don't. It is fun. I used to like wildly entertain it, and then I was like, no, I'm just gonna, like, I don't know, at some point I decided that for whatever reason it would be good to like just know all of to basically have a big bank of knowledge of the stuff that you could actually prove or point to evidence. And that's when I got into like, NASA footage and ex-military testimony and guys like Commander Fravor, because when people are like, well, where are the photos? Where's the video? You can be like, here's your link. Go check it out. And man, to listen to him describe that encounter is just like it's it's literally mind-boggling. Oh yeah, he does not embellish. He does not he's funny, but in a really dry way, and you're just like, yeah, that's how I would expect a pilot to be. Yes. Yeah. Oh, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, you're just done. And like honestly, I I don't know why, but I got caught up on another aspect of it a few years back, and it was like, okay, let's do a thought experiment here. Let's say that let's just say UFOs are real. We don't necessarily know what they are, but let's just say they're real. Okay, so you got one of two options. They're real and they're aliens, or they're real and they're ours. Okay? What's the simplest explanation? And I think most people would say, well, they're ours. Right? It's like it's so much easier to be like, yeah, they're military and they're awesome and they're high level military and they're classified, right? And it's so like it requires so much less going out on a limb than like they're aliens from another planet or another dimension. All right, so we have these craft, they're ours. If they're ours, whose are they? I'm gonna probably go with America. I know I'm American, and it probably sounds biased, but when you look at our fucking defense budget, like we outspend every other country combined. And after World War II, which was where all the rocket technology came from, it was just us and Russia. So you could say maybe Russia, but probably America. Let's err on the side of caution and let's say it's both. Let's say that both countries developed nukes, developed rockets, and eventually developed whatever these things are. Let's call it like gravity propulsion or whatever you want to call it. All right, so we've got like the Occam's razor simplest explanation. There's no aliens involved. There's nothing crazy. I'm also going to guess that these things are not running on fucking diesel fuel. Like they're super quiet. They seem to like work with gravity somehow. Like they're not they're not they're not aerodynamic. There's no intake engine, there's no ramjet, there's no exhaust. But they're still moving and they're moving faster than other things. So yeah, let's just assume they have some crazy super propulsion system. Why doesn't every car in the fucking world have the same thing? Why are we still burning fossil fuels? Why are we fighting over energy and oil? It literally doesn't make any sense because like you said, we have the instant win. So what's keeping us from just being like, hey, look, we pretended that these weren't ours, but they're ours and we own the planet now. Deal with it. And I know that probably sounds imperial, but like just based on human nature, you would think like, well, you know, if you have it, use it, right? And that's honestly why I err on the side of they're aliens. One of the reasons is that they're like not of this world. Because if we had that kind of technology, we might not have it in our cars, but you can bet that it would be in all the military aircraft. Like, why would you risk a stealth bomber that you have to like refuel halfway through its flight to go bomb something if you have this craft that can go 20,000 miles an hour? Makes no sense. Like you could literally hop over there, bomb a bunch of shit, and be back in like an hour. Whereas a B-12 is like a 36-hour round trip. Yeah. Yeah. And so, you know, and also like my experiences have been a couple of my experiences have been very esoteric in nature, and very like hard to quantify with what I like, which is evidence. It's mostly based on like feelings and synchronicities. And honestly, when I think about it, I'm like, oh, that's my extra weird part of my story. Like, you know, I tell a lot of people that I saw a light in the sky once, and I thought it was a plane until it stopped moving. What the hell can stop moving in mid-flight, right? Like we can't do that. What I don't tell everybody is that I'm pretty sure whatever it was heard me talking about it, and that's why it stopped. Like there was this weird moment where I was talking to my girlfriend at the time, and I was just like, that's weird. That doesn't look like a plane. And literally, as soon as I said that, it just stopped. And it was like, I'm not scared of a lot of things. Like, I like to think I'm not. But it was literally the most scared I have been in my entire life. Like, just this wave of panic rolled over me when it stopped, because it was like it heard me. And I was just like I felt small and powerless and like watched. Like I got the distinct impression I was being watched. And you know, none of that is provable. Like none of that, like even if I had a video of it, I couldn't prove to you that it was watching me, but like it was fucking watching me. I talk about that more candidly when I'm not like on stream and stuff, but I believe that. I think there's like a, and you know, go for it. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I think you know, I mean, if you've ever seen like the gunship camera from like a Black Hawk helicopter, just like extrapolate that out a couple thousand years, and you know, they can probably see us in HD with like thermal imaging, like heartbeat sensors, you know, like the whole fucking works. Yep, and they could probably do it, you know, from orbit. Yep. Yes. Yeah, so it's in space. Yeah, they're totally like, and I think he even says that in his interview that, you know, these things are coming down from space because they're coming down to like 60,000 feet, never getting below that, and then going back up and disappearing. Yeah, I didn't like the painterly thing I was doing, so I'm doing it more traditional. Cause in my dream, this, like, you know how they do Venom in the comics, how he's like goopy black. It was like that, but it was like, but I also got the impression that it was underwater. So when I color it, I'll do like bubbles and stuff. Yeah, I'm kind of taking some artistic license with it now, anyway. But yeah, there's my pencils. That was fun. Yep, exactly. Plus, this is like personal art, so I can just do whatever the hell I want. It doesn't matter. Like, and there's also certain pieces that, like, you know what you want them to look like, and I'm not going to be able to do that with paint yet. So even if I end up painting it later, it's good to have like a drawing, an illustration of it. I like to think of it as my underpainting or my underdrawing, because it's always there. I can always go back to that at the very least. Yep. What have you been working on? Oh, wow. That's going to be fun. Of course. Dude, his stuff is real good. Oh, cool. That's true. Yep. Yeah, I'm learning that. Yeah, I don't know if either one of us has much of an audience, but I try not to spam them even if they don't exist. There you go. Oh, cool. Yeah, I figured. I was like, I'll just do something I don't do enough of, which is just like drawing for fun. Everything's always work focused, and especially with everything going on, it's like I'm probably a little hyper focused on work. I should probably take more time to chill. It's kind of why I took today off to just play games. It's like I just need to veg out for like a day. Oh yeah. Shooting aliens is fun. Speaking of. Yeah, again, I don't think they care. Yeah. You are the gram. Like, you control the entire gram. Reminds me of another part of our conversation I was having last week with my buddies. You ever heard of Whitley Strieber? It's a book called Communion. So he's one of the first like classic alien abduction stories. And there's a movie that's a little trippier than the book. The movie's really good. It stars Christopher Walken from like the 80s. Oh, it's like I highly suggest you watch it at least once. It's called Communion. Probably find it. I'll find you a torrent of it even. But his story is weird too, because like, you know, it starts off with him like he has like he's a writer, or he's trying to be a writer, and he has like a house, like they have an apartment, but then there's like a family house or something that's like, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. He's got like a vacation house or something that's like in upstate New York, I think, where he goes and takes his family to write. And they take some friends one day, and they all have this weird experience that they can't really explain that night. And it freaks his friends out. I think his friends ended up saying that they just saw like weird lights outside, like lights in the sky, kind of like low over this farm. Um, um, but over the course of, probably months, maybe years, he tells the story of, it starts off as like these weird lights in the sky. Then I start having these weird experiences, these weird dreams where these creatures are coming and like talking to me and like taking me away into a ship. Super classic alien abduction stuff. And then it gets super weird, right? So like in the movie, they it's much better visually, but he's basically on the ship, surrounded by what you would consider like classic aliens, like tall, skinny, big almond eyes, and they don't really talk. And there's a moment where he like goes to touch one of their faces, and he grabs its face and like peels off the face, and under the face is like a different alien face. And we were talking about how when you take it all in, it's the distinct impression of like, you're gonna see what I want you to see, no matter what. We're gonna show you this because it's what we're gonna show you, but it's not really what we are. And you get that when you read some of the super weird, abduction or stories, and it's basically like, yeah, they can for lack of a better descriptor, they can control what you interpret. So like, totally, absolutely, 100%. Like if they want to look like an owl, they're gonna look like an owl. If they want you to know they were there, you'll know. If not, you won't. Yeah, it's super creepy, honestly. Yep. Oh man, that one's tough. I don't know. I think they're probably trapped in here with us. Yeah. Yeah. I think so. Yeah. So like they're not external to it. They're here too. But I think they have a much I don't know, cuz to me they're not mutually exclusive. Like you can have simulation theory and aliens at the same time. Without they're just part of the simulation, right? Like we all are. Like at that point, werewolves are part of the simulation, Yeah. Well, and one of my fun thought experiments is like, what if we are in a simulation and they figured out how to hack it? Like maybe they really are moving faster than light because they got the cheat code. They're doing things that you're not supposed to even be able to do under any circumstances. Like you can't move at the speed of light. Like you can't. Well, based on everything we know, it can't be done. Because general relativity is stupid, and like as you approach the speed of light, you gain infinite density, and like you can't, like you just get heavier. Like so you can never actually move at the speed of light. You could move at 99% the speed of light, but not 100. And even at the speed of light, you're still talking 4 or 5 years to the nearest star. If you can go that fast. Like that's if you can go that fast. Yeah. And like I said, that's pretty much the response I get from people when they ask me about my story. I'm like, yeah. They're like, I don't doubt it. We're not alone. It'd be stupid to think we were. Yeah, like it lifted off. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Now look at them. They build bombs and shit. Yeah. We're dumb. What can we say? Yep. Yeah, you're too big. You're gonna like maybe kill my dog, so you gotta go. I like to entertain the idea of like the Star Trek universe, where like because another weird thing about UFOs is like no two are the same. Like I mean sometimes two are the same, but like there's everything from like flying saucers to flying eggs to like liquid psychedelic jellyfish. Like there's just like yeah, the sheer size of it. And so like part of me thinks that there's legit like a ton of life out there. Like an absolute fuck ton of it. And for whatever reason, we're not in the club yet. And honestly, it wouldn't be too easy to guess why we're not in the club yet when you really think about it. Like we're dumb, we're stupid, we're self-destructive. Yeah, we're like barely lucid. Yeah. So I think a lot of it, I really like that's where my brain goes. That's where like my logical brain goes. Because again, like you said, there's that quote, any sufficiently advanced thing is going to seem like magic to us. But the same holds true. Like, dude, take an iPhone back 100 years and try to explain to somebody what it is. Like, good fucking luck. Yeah, like Wi-Fi. What's Wi-Fi? Well, you use it for the internet. Well, the internet. What's the internet? Like, you don't even have the frame of reference to start having the conversation. And it's like the ant thing. It's like you don't even have a language you can share. You ever read the book Contact? It's a good book. It kind of goes into that. About like the only real shared language we could have is mathematics. Yeah. Well, and it's universal too. It's like one is always one. There's no like misinterpreting that. But yeah, I'll give you another spoiler since you never read it. I don't think you will. You've seen the movie, right? Bits and pieces. It's really good. It's a fun movie, right? Like they get a message from space. The message says build a giant spaceship. They build a giant spaceship. She gets in it. Has this amazing like day-long adventure with a few other people. In the book, it's a couple other people, and comes back. But when she comes back, everyone on Earth thinks she's only been gone like 5 minutes, and they think she's crazy and that she hallucinated the whole thing. And in the book, there's like it's basically the ending after the end, right? So they built it. She's gone. She's come back. They don't believe her. She has this epiphany of like, oh, well, now I understand how religious people feel because like you when it comes down to it, you can't really prove anything. But while she's gone, they tell her they're like the secret is in the number for pi. Like that's kind of what they leave her with. And she's like, okay. And so when she gets back, she starts studying pi. And at the very end of the book, there's a sequence where she's basically printing out the whole sequence of pi, which is infinite as far as we know. And as she's printing it, like, because pi is random. It's like 18735 blah, blah, blah. Well, it starts just going 0. 0, 0, 0, 0. Like, it's just this, like hundreds of zeros. And then there's like a 1. And then there's a couple hundred more zeros and a 1. And then a 1. And as it's printing, as it's finishing, she realizes that the ones and the zeros draw out like a perfect circle in the number pi, and the implication is that whatever created this universe left proof of its creation in the number pi, which is really cool. Yeah. You bury it in the code where like only the smart monkeys can find it. So I don't know. I kind of like that theory. Like I don't necessarily know about a creator, but like there's like we definitely run on code. It seems. Like call it like, you know, I think of it like the universal constants. You know, I'm not smart enough to tell you what those are, but like, you know, the speed of light seems to be constant everywhere, and like, you know, certain processes happen that let matter form, you know. Yeah, and like, you know, they do simulations, and if you tweak the constant, like any constant one way or another, like you basically get a whole different universe, and most of them things can't exist. Yeah, and it's the, you know, it's that question. It's like the chicken or egg question. It's like, okay, so is the universe fine tuned for life, or is life just fine tuned for the universe? And it's hard to answer that because, you know, we've only got the one example of us that we know about. But I legit think there's all these like Star Trek civilizations out there that we'll know about someday. That's a good title. Yeah. That is cool. That is most definitely C.S. Lewis. Published in 1938. Damn. This is a crazy description. Tell me if you got this from it. Out of Silent Planet gives voice to Lewis's concerns about the secularization of society and affirms that a return to traditional religious beliefs is the only means of its salvation. Okay. Gotcha. A lot of his work is tinged with Christianity. I'm not surprised. I'm sure it's still a great book. Oh, yeah, it's true. I forget that.
We were in a classroom that looked like an old-timey farm plantation looking thing. Like colonial era. There's no concrete, it's all gravel in the school area. The dorms, quote unquote, looked like a converted barn, like an old timey building. It was weird. Very, very book farm.
Huh.
Read a lot of literature. I read like that, Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, some other weird stuff. It was interesting times. But yeah, that was an interesting like way of looking at Earth, because like this goes in the Star Trek thing, right? They don't contact anybody until they get there.
Yeah, it's the prime directive. You can't interfere.
Yeah.
You have they have to basically develop warp tech.
Yeah,
and then you
that's
can
how
say
it was,
hello.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the universal thing. Like once Earth got warped, and then all of a sudden everything changed.
See, and I think in that scenario, our warp was nukes.
Oh, okay. We just went crazy nuclear with it instead of going to warp.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll get there.
We
I don't know. It doesn't look
started
good now.
splitting atoms. They're
Yeah.
like, oh wait, hold on. These monkeys are doing some serious fucking physics down
Okay.
here. What's going on?
And they're
Because
just
to do
sending
that,
them.
you've got to understand a lot about the laws of physics to make a nuke. You really do.
Yeah.
So much so that I can't really even explain it to you.
Have you ever seen a movie called Young Einstein
Oh man, a long time ago. Yeah.
by Yahoo Series? Me and Libby
Yeah.
watched it recently
Yeah.
because we were under quarantine and we were going through. This Netflix just got boring, so I was like, "Fuck this! I have DVDs.
Nice.
I bought these DVDs for a reason. That's right, because they're amazing."
Yeah, you did.
But yeah, he split the atom to make foam and beer. That was the general concept.
Yeah. That's so
That was
ridiculous.
a fun, weird one.
Yahoo Series.
But yeah, because then the Nazis were really into spaceshipy things. Were Americans back then too? I forget. The U.S. government, not as much as the Nazis.
No, not really. No, yeah.
Those guys were balls deep.
Honestly, the U.S. government pretty much just ignored it for the longest time.
Yeah.
Like literally, they were like, "Look, people are crazy. They're just seeing weird shit."
Yeah.
But then as the years went on, you get more and more credible. You can only be like, "Oh, it's a crazy farmer" for so long. It's kind of like Flavor when one of your own like top pilots is like, "Hey, I saw some weird shit." You kind of take them seriously.
And the funny part, their reaction of we don't know what it is. Yep. Is so it makes so much sense.
Oh, totally.
Especially when you talk to people who have been in the military, it's like, oh, so that's their reaction. Yeah, that's their reaction. It's like, okay. It's been brilliant.
Again, you're a little fuzzy again. Sorry.
Oh, am I?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all good.
Moving. Gotta get to these spaceships. So the idea it's a beach ball inside of a sphere.
No, it's a cube inside of a transparent beach ball.
It's a cube inside of a transparent beach ball.
Yeah.
I got it backwards.
Yeah. So think of it like a Borg cube shoved inside a beach ball.
Is it floating inside of it, or is it like perfectly in it?
I got the impression it was like perfectly in it. Like when I drew it as basically where the points of the cube touched the beach ball. So it's literally like a platonic solid in a platonic solid.
Yeah.
It's just a cube and a sphere, and sharing the same space.
It's so weird. I see that footage. It looks like a goddamn pixel glitch.
I think one of the most interesting things about him talking about it was when he said that it actively jammed his radar.
Yeah.
Which is technically an act of war.
Yeah. No, to me, is that too, but it's like, how do you know radar? Like, what is it doing?
Yeah. One, it's like, why are you jamming my radar? Because I'm going to know you're jamming my radar.
Yeah. So... I wonder if it's like inherent in what it is. So what is radar?
Like defense mechanism? Like a natural thing?
What is high speed radar? So what is radar? Let's see.
They're radio waves.
Okay, detection units. So it's like a send out, bounce back. We can detect the shape kind of thing.
Yep.
Okie dokie.
And it absorbed his radar, if I remember correctly, which means it's an active, because I guess there's passive and active. There's like two different kinds of radar jamming.
Yeah.
And Pat,
like it was doing on purpose.
Yeah, and I think, hold on, I'm gonna look this up so I know what the hell I'm talking about.
But that's only assuming if it's doing on purpose.
Yeah.
What if it just absorbs radar or radio waves naturally? It will get all of our music.
Active radar jamming is a form of electronic countermeasures that intentionally sends out radio frequency signals to interfere with the operation of radar by
Okay.
saturating its receiver with noise or false information.
So whatever he was scanning, it was sending radio waves back.
Yeah, it was like, I see you looking at me, and I'm gonna send you back like noise.
Unless it was just emitting radio, period.
I'm not sure.
Like, I wonder if that's a distinction that we can look at.
I got the impression that it was something that like would not occur naturally.
Yeah. Well, to me, it's like, well, how this engine is working? It may just emit radio waves.
Oh, you're right. No, there's several types of jamming.
Okay.
Let me see.
Because that's the thing. It's like, so if you have to distinguish it was actively jamming you, like understanding like we have a thing called radar, and we shoot it at these things to detect it, and you're gonna actively be a countermeasure to that action.
Yeah. Here's interesting. The very last bit on the Wikipedia is jamming in nature. The jamming of bat sonar by certain tiger moth species has recently been confirmed. This can be seen as nature's equivalent of radar jamming.
Huh. So it's so it happens in nature. We just use it because we're using part of it to detect something.
Yeah, I'm interested now because there's like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's like 8 or 9 types of radar jamming, like of electronic jamming specifically.
Oh wow, okay.
There's like frequency jamming. There's like alternating frequencies. There's what is barrage jamming. There's like changing frequencies so rapidly it appears as noise.
Yeah.
There's a base jamming.
Because blocking the radar implies intent.
Absolutely. Well, and it also implies knowledge that it was being scanned.
Yeah, but if it was just emitting weird radio waves to begin with, that our radar just doesn't work on it.
Yeah, like it wouldn't be seen as jamming. You would just see random radar waves.
Yeah, it's like sorry, your shit just doesn't work here, which is also kind of crazy. Because we can only do that if we do it on purpose.
Yes.
If they're doing it on accident, that's a different, like, okay, what are you doing?
Doing something fucking shady.
Yeah, goddamn. Because I always go back to the example. I heard like they can detect who you are via your unique heartbeat through buildings.
I wouldn't put it past them.
But like, so that's our military. So at that point, what is doing the scale to that level is insane.
Not necessarily. It's more about how fast you can process the data. Because like
that's true.
Because like if you gave me a bunch of heartbeats, I could tell them apart eventually.
Oh yeah.
But
that's true.
You know, a computer can do it in fucking real time.
Yeah. That's what we need, right? To get to where these things are, we just have to think faster.
Mm-hmm. That's why I think they're probably not entirely biological.
Okay.
Like I'm sure
at that point,
yeah,
right?
Like I seriously think it's like a combo, that it's like organic and machine combined.
If its goal at some point was to live forever.
Yep. Well, I mean, if you wanted to go out in space and visit other civilizations, you're gonna have to be around for a while.
I remember reading a vampire book from White Wolf, and one of the vampires watched moss grow for 100 years. Like he just sat in the sewer and just stared at it just to see how it grew.
I got some time to kill. Let's just
just like I got time. I'll just do this all day. All right. I love that concept.
So this is pretty cool. I've been messing with my stream a little bit, and I've got your screen, my screen, and my webcam. I dig it. So hey, proof of concept complete. It will all work together.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing an art club on Discord this Sunday. We'll see how that
Oh,
goes.
cool. I finally started
Yeah,
using that.
it's cool. It's neat. The voice areas are kind of cool. Just general chats. Like my stepson does it. He has a full server Discord server wide get together with his friends.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's what we chat on. Like we'll take or I want not we my buddy Sal. He takes the Discord output and channels it to his Twitch.
Oh, okay.
So like if you're watching, you can hear us all talking together, kind of like what I'm doing now.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. At least hopefully everyone can hear you.
Yeah. God damn, I know. I did one with Devin and got nothing on his side.
Oh, I know.
On
I was gonna try to watch that one live.
Yeah, no. And
Nope.
then the Kirby one, I started because I knew Kirby had like a following.
Yeah.
So I kept an eye on the stream and someone caught it like, hey, your audio's bad. I was like, oh, cool, thank you.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's been interesting.
Yeah, there's always kinks to work out when you get started. Kind of sucks.
Especially on this crazy alien technology.
We're working on the outdated shit.
Yeah, for real.
That's the problem.
We still care about physics.
Physics? What's that?
Because that's the general idea, right? You gotta stop caring about other things to pool your resources. To me, it's very like my game Civ that I play.
Yep.
If I can dump all my stuff into like weapons and science, but if someone attacks me, I'm dunsies.
There's no defense.
So yeah, so if I want to go for that science victory, I gotta just pump everything into science, but be able to keep enough of an army to defend. But I tried that once. Like I'll just keep my empire kind of small, but I was going with the science victory. But then I got to a certain point where I had no aluminum on my land, so I couldn't build a spaceship. I was like, "Fuck!" So now I have to go back and like focus on building an army to invade somebody to get enough
their
aluminum.
That's fucking perfect.
Yeah. So
why are you killing all of us? We gotta go to space, bitch.
We gotta go to space, motherfuckers. And I think one of the games it's the extension of that. Once you go into space, you're conquering the galaxy.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So
the game Spore was like that. I really like that game.
Oh yeah. Oh, that game has so much ambition.
It really did. It kind of failed, but it tried.
Yeah. Maybe better now, I feel. Maybe more possible these days.
Yeah, you could actually pull it off now.
With the CPU, like the crazy CPU power that we have now compared to just 10 years ago is insane. What's the idea? There's more computing power in our phones that launched the rockets to the moon.
Dude, there's more computer power in my Fitbit than there was in what we sent to the moon. Like Texas Instruments calculators have more stuff.
Yeah, we have a lot, don't we, in the area? We got Raytheon, we got Texas Instrument, there's Boeing, there's Bell, there's Lockheed.
Oh, bro, we are so high on the first strike list.
For real.
Like, you don't have to worry about surviving in a nuclear wasteland, because we won't.
Yeah, we're gonna. I grew up in Dallas, so it never. How much Dallas shows up in things just never really occurred to me until I met people from smaller towns. It's like, oh yeah, your city is not constantly in the news. Huh.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, because I say I'm born and raised in Dallas, but people always like, where are you from? I'm like, no, I'm born and raised here. Because a lot of transplants to the area.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, am I on the screen? I need to mark off on my table where my camera is.
Yep, you totally do.
I need to do that.
Or you can do what I do, and like I just record kind of big, and then I crop it when I do like the time lapse later.
This camera seems to be a little too wide for my taste for that. I get too much. I get like carpet of where it is.
Ah, no one cares.
I just want to zoom in on the art. That's what I need. That's what I noticed on my grams. People like the art, not much else.
Fair enough.
Art and selfies.
All right, here's my quick version of what I imagine.
Oh, right on. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm having fun just drawing whatever. Not like it's super complicated to draw this, but
yeah, it's such a weird thing because it's like they can't tell if it's like a force field or something, right?
Yeah, I think he even says that.
Yeah, it's like we don't know what it is. This is kind of weird floaty thing.
It's a cube and a beach ball.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. And then in my drawing, I made it like the board cube where it's like, it's got like all these like
little dot lines on it, yeah.
Things etched into it, like it's not quite uniform. Oh wait, no, I fucked that all up. So what's yours going to? Like, are you doing it for a thing?
No, I'm just here to show off the pens.
Gotcha.
So I sell pens, so that's what I gotta do.
Well, you are streaming to my art channel also, so if you have any opinions about your pens, you should share them.
I try to get on Twitch or I'm having weird account issues. I gotta talk to these guys.
You can't get on Twitch?
I had an account and then I'm locked out of it somehow, and every time I try to reset it, I end up in a weird loop.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, so it's always like, reset your password. Okay, now do this, and then it just locks up. I can tell I'm at a stopping point in the code.
You're just like, nope.
Yeah, so someone needs to look at my account and see what happened.
Gotcha.
So we'll see. I hear Twitch is the way to go. Unless you can understand the TikTok.
Yeah, I'm too old for TikTok. Way too old for TikTok.
I look at it as a very simple Premiere, because you can stack clips.
Yeah.
And if you know how to shoot your clips, you can stack your clips in a certain way to make a movie that you can set music to it.
Well, it's kind of, it's what you used to be able to do with Instagram. You used to be able to edit your video per clip, and now you can't. It's God damn it, I did it again. Oh, well.
What you do?
I drew everything on the wrong layer. Like you do.
And they give us everything. They give us labels here. They give us a visual indication of what layer you're on. Like Photoshop gives you every opportunity to see what the fuck you're doing.
To not fuck it up. Yeah.
Yeah, not fuck it up. But here we are. I'm proud of myself. I did this whole pen drawing, and not once did I try to do Control-Z.
There you go. That's why I still like to ink traditionally. There's something about just doing it for real.
To me, there's something about the chaos in the pen or the brush that I can't. The computer is too perfect. There's not enough happenstance.
There's no happy accidents with a computer.
Yeah.
Like, there are, but they're discovered in a much different way.
Yeah. Like that brushstroke is always that brushstroke.
Yep.
Consistently.
And like that opacity is that opacity. Is it set at 50? Because that's what you're gonna get.
Yeah. Like the temperature of the room doesn't affect it. Where has your pen been in the last day or so affects it.
There's my board cube.
Oh, there you go. Is the cube they see like smooth? It's just white, right?
Which one?
The ones they see. I think they.
I don't think
they talk about it on the podcast for a little bit.
I don't think he described it. If I remember correctly, like he never actually describes he just says a cube in a beach ball.
Okay. People just say that. There's no descriptions like there's stuff on the cube.
No,
Yeah.
none of that.
Okay. So they like that nice white Apple design. Everything's very simple.
Yep. It's all well, we talked about it. It's all like 3D printed, one
Yeah.
smooth surface.
Super rudimentary. No frills. They don't have rims on it.
I probably should have like sent out a tweet and stuff that I was streaming, but whatever.
I tried that. I was like, I don't think people were paying attention. So
I'm at the point in streaming where no one pays attention. So
it's hard, dude.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Well, and I have to, it's funny. It goes to that whole thing about, we tie our self-worth to like our views and our likes. And I just remind myself that like the streaming is more for me. It's because like
right on.
I'm gonna be doing the work anyway. It's kind of why I started streaming, honestly, because something that you find out real quick when you stream art is that you're way more productive at art because you don't fuck around while you're on stream.
Oh yeah.
Like you're hyper focused on what you're doing, and it's like
you're dialed in.
Like, am I working or am I not working? Instead of like, oh, I'm gonna play a couple games and then work some, and then I'm gonna go outside with the dog and then work some more. It's like, no, I'm gonna stream for 3 hours. So I got 3 solid hours of work.
Ken Gillette said when he was doing a live, he was doing a Saturday Night Live, they had to do a juggle upside down.
Yep.
And he said he never nailed it until the live take, and that was the only time he nailed it.
I saw that exact same video. Yeah, he was like, we didn't think it was gonna work.
So I just do it live. I kind of miss live arting in front of a crowd.
Yeah, I do too. That's another thing that streaming is kind of good for.
That's true.
It helps you with like the performative aspect of it.
Yeah.
I joke too that like it helps me with my anxiety a lot.
I can see that.
Yeah, totally. But because of that, it also takes me a long time to like get warmed up. So I'm usually like an hour in before I'm actually comfortable.
Gotcha. Yeah. You gotta do those warm-ups.
Yep. So yeah, I've just been. Anytime I got something I can show and I want to work on, I'll just stream it. No one watches. I'm still gonna be working. So.
For real. I try to tie like my self-worth to it, but I try to use it as like a platform for things.
Gotcha.
It's just part of the hustle.
Yep. It's just another part of it.
And just doing the production side, because I can do the production side, makes it a little easier to focus on. Because I like Kenneth. I just let Kenneth draw. I don't try to... I'll take his opinions on things, but I try to take care of all the other stuff for him, so he doesn't have to worry about it.
That's how you do it.
Like, the full game plan for Heroes was, like, intense. You gotta do this, gotta do that, make an impression here, make a splash here, talk to these people, introduce these people. I was getting geared up to, wear the banner and run.
Nice.
Yeah, but now we just gotta shift gears.
Yeah, all the cons disappearing is a monkey wrench for sure.
Yeah, it's shifting. I know a lot of guys are doing like live auctions on Facebook and things. That's been cool.
Yep, I've seen a lot of like, I guess indie like online conventions pop up, which has been kind of cool.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't think we'll get a show for a while, because just think about it. Like, how comfortable are you gonna be in a room with 30,000 people shoulder to shoulder?
Yeah, like I don't know if I'll ever be comfortable in that.
Like that's not gonna be a thing, Yeah, that can't be a thing for at least a while. If you look at like San Diego, where you're looking at 100,000 people, or New York Comic Con, 100,000 people.
Oh.
Like,
yeah, how many people are gonna
I'm not sure.
Sick from that.
Yeah, because it happened at PAX Prime one year. I want to say someone got either a really bad form of the flu or it was actual swine flu.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and I remember a couple of artists had I think it was Kurtz had to stay in Seattle extra because he got sick. Because that's why he implemented the head nod. He's like, I'm not shaking hands anymore. I'm just gonna give you the head. He drew a little chart that here, make eye contact, move the head back to its original position, and that is the universal greeting that we're gonna use from now on. Because is that Kronka is a real thing?
It is absolutely a real thing. Oh, I just realized if I switch my... Oh, have I not had your volume up this whole time?
Oh no.
Oh, wait, no, there you go. Okay.
Yeah.
It's there. Yeah. No, if I switch... Yeah, because you know how OBS is. If you switch to a different scene and you don't have the audio set up correctly.
Yeah, it is it's amazing and like super picky.
Yeah, no, it's granular. Like you gotta
Yeah.
have that shit planned out. So like I wanted to switch to a different view, but if I do, I lose your audio. So
Which is why I like it, how granular it is. I try using some of the other free ones, and it's just a little too template-sized. I'm like, eh.
oh no, man, OBS is where it's at. It's like
Yeah.
it's pretty standard. That's why I asked if you were using OBS or Streamlabs because those are the top
Oh,
two.
right on.
It's basically
I don't think I can use Streamlabs.
why not?
I think it's PC only.
Oh, it is PC only right now.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, that's one of the downsides to it, but it's basically OBS with a different skin.
Yeah, I imagine this seems like a digital version of the broadcast stuff we were using.
That's what it is.
At work.
Yeah.
This is what it is.
It takes all the...
I had all the boards and stuff.
Yeah, it takes all of the literally all of the functionality that's in OBS is exactly replicated in Streamlabs.
Okay.
I still don't know what the actual difference is, because they do the same thing.
Probably functionality. It's probably the coding, how they got there.
Yeah, I think it has a lot more to do with the back end than the front end. I know it's a lot, like you can customize it, but not as much as OBS.
Okay.
OBS is like, it strikes me as being more for like the power user, who wants to really control everything, whereas Streamlabs is like, here's the most common stuff. We're going to do most of it for you. You can just start streaming.
All right.
But, you know, I think...
I'll post what people read. They go Streamlabs is the easier route to go.
Yeah, definitely. Like, especially if you're gaming, it's more geared towards gamers. But I think for people like you and me who really want, like we want control over the scenes and putting extras in and doing, like, backgrounds and overlays, I feel like OBS is better for that.
At my previous workplace, we had live shows. Like, I hosted webinars. Where we had lighting cues and different people, like the host had a lighting setting, and then the presenter, when they walked up, you hit another button and their lights would go on, the other guy lights would go off. And we were like, I was gonna ramp it up to do a light show and then do a live broadcast, like a simultaneous broadcast, and then do a live broadcast on the internet.
That has to be so nerve-wracking, dude.
Because I had a point where I wanted to play a video and then play a gag where it looks like it's not live and then have it be live.
Oh, I gotcha.
And then somehow get the live feed from the other side of the building to feed into what we were doing to make it sync up. And then once that worked, I was going to make sure everybody cleaned up because some of our presentations got rowdy. And then do a live webinar to the nationwide company. So I was already on this track anyways.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it was fun. It was cool. Doing live events. It was a lot of learning. I even helped them put together their webinar event and brand it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I did that there.
They did it once. We did a web like a in-house webinar or in-house seminar where people came in. They got guest speakers and things. Because my point of view was, if we're gonna be experts in the field, we need to show off that we're experts in the field.
It's true.
And how else? What better way to do it nowadays is it, and besides a mini TED Talk, right?
Yeah.
Do a cool presentation, and then you can. That's how you. That's like that. Was it designer? Those people. They used to be like a really hardcore graphic design company, but they went more branding or future. I forget.
Oh, future. Yeah, the future. I
Yeah.
was like, I don't know who you're
So,
talking about.
but for them, like how else will you prove you know what you're talking about unless you talk about what you know?
It's true.
So I was gonna do that, and that was the live event in house. And then at one point, I recorded it, and then at one point, I wanted to stream another one. I remember my CEO looking at me saying, "Hey, Lun, are you taking pictures?" Like making sure I was taking pictures, and I'm standing in front of like 3 lenses on the table, and I just took a picture of him before I took that picture before he said that. I was like, yes.
Yeah, I think I'm taking pictures.
If you look at my phone and you look at the steps I take, I've 10 times more that day because I'm walking around taking pictures.
Jeez.
I'm just in the building. Yeah. Yeah, the broadcast stuff has been fun. It's a way to stay connected, especially nowadays. So, real quick with the coronavirus, before we wrap this up, because it's getting long. That's almost 3 hours.
We're boring, whatever.
Is it man-made?
I don't think so. Actually, no. Absolutely, it's not man-made.
I like to entertain the idea because it's not even like nefarious. I can see it being something that they were because you gotta like test antibodies, right?
Right.
And I can totally see, because you all know that cousin or that aunt or uncle who has that weird side job, and they're always hustling. So if you have sources of animals that you can sell in the wet market that you got for free, I would totally do that.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, like this, all it takes is some security guard or some worker who's part of the disposal team to like, you know what? I can get paid to get rid of this, then I can get paid again to sell it.
I think the current conspiracy theory is that it's not man-made, but it is man-altered.
Oh yes, I can see that.
Yeah, like I read something, and honestly, I need to read more before I make a judgment call. I tend not to believe it, but it basically said that like there's a possibility. God, I think even Trump touted it as a thing, but like, you know, there's a lab in Wuhan, and they were doing. I guess they just started up some kind of previously banned research on coronaviruses.
Oh.
Yeah, and so someone's like, well, it'd be real easy to like alter it in the lab, and then for it to accidentally, you know, get someone sick. Yeah. And once that person is sick and out of the lab, well, there you go.
Because we do that kind of stuff as a species, right? We do play with viruses. It's a thing. Accidents do happen.
Yep.
I don't like. It's hard to see how malicious it can be because it's not the best of weapons because it gets everywhere.
Yeah, like, and it kills your own people. Like, that's why I don't think it's man-made. It's too it's too random. Like, if it's man-made, it's very poorly done.
Yeah, like I think if it's man-made, it got out on accident. Because this is not helping anybody for the most part. There's a lot of things that line up, like the labs and like where it came from and what it's doing. It's like, okay, doing weird things, and it's mutating, or we're discovering new things about it.
Yeah, it hasn't technically mutated, but there are different strains. I think
Yeah.
that's the correct way to say it. Um,
I've been playing Plague Inc. on my phone again just to see how it works. And goddamn, it makes a lot of sense.
yeah.
Yeah, like when you're playing as a bacteria, the game plan is to stay dormant and infect everybody. And then from there you just go lethal super fast.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking
And you just wipe everybody out before they can cure it. Uh,
about.
as a virus, you kind of want to stay unpredictable. So in the bacteria, every time you evolve a mutation on your own, um, I devolve it to stay under the radar. But as the virus, I kept all the mutations because they had to keep guessing on the cure. They didn't know
I
what it was.
gotcha. I gotcha.
So you're constantly shifting, and then at a certain point, I felt when I did it, I just went super deadly, and then as they're trying to get the cure, the systems are falling apart, and then to a certain point, they can't work on a cure anymore because all their infrastructure is broken.
Yeah, because you hit everybody at once and
Yeah,
they're
and
out.
so certain key people fall out. I'm like, okay, I'm playing as a fungus, and that's been difficult because they don't spread very well. Like that's the bacteria. You just kind of like chill out until you get everybody, and everybody it's pretty infectious. But if once you start getting the stuff that really helps you be infectious, like sneezing and that kind of thing, people catch on.
Yeah, that's when everyone's like, wait, something's happening.
Yeah, something's happening. But with the virus, because you keep mutating and keep jumping around different symptoms, people don't know what it is. So it's like, oh, it's just this, and then nope, it's not. Then you realize like all these different strains are the same one. Because I heard there's cases of corona in like November at the earliest.
Not confirmed, but yeah, they think maybe
There's
it's
some
been around for a
suspicions.
minute. Yeah, there was a lot of people sick, so
Yeah.
I could see it, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Don't know what it was. It's the flu. It's the pneumonia. Like a lot of people don't
I mean, there was
necessarily.
yeah, I had a like there was a friend of a friend that died in like November from bronchitis, if I remember correctly, which like
Oh wow.
bronchitis doesn't usually kill you.
Yeah.
So
That's
there's like that kind of stuff that you know,
it's been suspicious.
super sketch.
Yeah, for real. Am I on the stream? There I am.
So what else are you working on? What are you working on this coming week?
Uh, more. I gotta figure out the schedule for the stream. I'm trying to do themes. Like this week was pro wrestling and storytelling in pro wrestling. And I started with somebody who moved around organizations. So how do you keep in character and keep true to your character while performing what your person who hired you, what they need you for?
Oh, there you go.
And then the second one was somebody who runs an organization here in the DFW area. So how do you tell your stories within one localized space? You're not moving around. You can stay focused on one thing. But you people come and go. Everybody's an independent contractor. If you bring in a superstar, how did that relate into your storyline? And then I talked to a friend from high school who was a pro wrestler for that group,
Oh
and it's like
wow.
how do you keep in character? What do you do to tell your story from curtain to curtain? And he talks about like things. I'm a heel, so I do these things. So I'm hoping to get Jake tomorrow, at least on a recording, to talk about storytelling in tabletop games, because he has a couple interesting like views and different methods and stuff,
Yeah, I
different
think
story
the
techniques to
bit I
get through.
caught, I think you were talking about
Yeah,
tabletops.
because I remember playing a game with him where he pulled me aside that says, all right, at the end of this you're the bad guy, uh but you're gonna pretend to be a good guy and we're not telling anybody about this. And so he'll play separate sessions with me where I did certain things. At a certain point I committed a murder in the game, and then I joined the rest of the crew, and I was trying to investigate my own murder, my own
Nice.
crime. And I was
Yeah,
trying to like divert them, but they just completely ignored me. I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna get away with this. I don't have to like lie my way through this. All right, cool. Moving on.
that's awesome. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a
and at
good.
certain
That's like a good
yeah,
DM right there.
at a certain point, my character, the team thought I died, but I didn't.
Oh hey,
So he was
shout
gonna.
out! I'm getting. I think I'm getting rated. Oh, my friend Cryo Mira rated me in Twitch.
Oh, nice.
What's up, guys? Sorry I didn't see the raid. We're talking UFOs and working on art and stuff over here.
UFOs are the best.
They were spamming me with emojis till I noticed.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, that's a
It's
fun
weird they
thing.
don't notify you.
It does, but it notifies me in the chat. So if I'm not,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, and like honestly, I got kind of lost fucking with my UFO photo over here, so
Right on.
I wasn't looking at the chat. Like I said, I glanced and it's like, oh, emoji explosion.
Yeah, that's why like production. I'm just leaning into the one man band kind of thing. Like, you know what? It's just me. It's not gonna be perfect.
Oh
It
wow,
is what it is.
yeah. What up to the 35 people raiding me?
Oh shit.
Yeah, yeah. She's got a lot of good followers. She's a real good artist.
That's cool.
I'm gonna shout out a couple people here real quick. Hold on.
Yeah, shout him out.
I noticed you, Senpai. I see you. It's hilarious. Can you guys tell I'm new to twitching?
It's because we're old.
Yeah, we're old men. I don't know if you can tell. All right, I'm caught up. Thank you for the raid, Cryo. I'm talking with my buddy Luan. He's running a YouTube channel.
Yeah, because I can't get on Twitch.
Yeah, he can't.
Or whatever.
He's having technical problems with Twitch. We need someone at Twitch to like sort his account out so he can log in.
Yeah.
Do you just have a username you want to keep, or like, what is there a reason
Yeah.
you can't just start a new one?
Yeah, because it's the store name.
Oh yeah, you need that.
Because I'm kind of looking at like the project we're working with Kenneth is in conjunction with Anime Yankee, which is Ruby's anime company. But I'm looking at it as Fully Automatic is the publisher.
Okay, cool.
You know what I mean? Because it's all about creating platforms for artists to be successful. And I feel Kenneth is one of those characters that he probably should be more successful than he is. Part of that is I don't think he understands how to market because he's been working. That's the downside, I feel. When you're, as an artist, sometimes when you gotta dive deep into your marketing, your branding, and how to get your name out there, you don't work.
Yeah. It's real easy to get caught in one or the other, and it's hard to split your time between the two. Like I probably spend too much time marketing and trying to get like high paying gigs that aren't necessarily the kind of art I want to work on.
Yeah, but you gotta hustle to get that money.
You do.
Get those gigs.
Gotta pay bills, man. It sucks sometimes. I mean, it doesn't suck. Let me rephrase that. It's fun to be able to draw for money, but you don't always get to draw what you want.
No, that's fine.
Crush
sometimes
builds. Thank you.
Yeah, sometimes I gotta pay the bills, so I gotta make an email to sell Weber grills.
Yep. Like right now, I'm doing all those anatomical illustrations. Like,
oh yeah,
you know, they're interesting, and I'm learning a lot. It's not what I would choose to draw, but
yeah.
One of my chatters says use the store name with an underscore if you have to.
That's true.
Yeah, I see a lot of that where it's like, you know, art, like mine's Art of Warlick, but it could be art underscore of underscore.
That's true.
Yes, please all follow. I need to break that 50 follower count so I can get affiliate.
Oh yeah.
Get more tools. Yeah, I like how Twitch gamifies their platform. It's fun.
Yep.
And it kind of fosters community instead of like competition.
It's a newer company.
Whatever. I've had this account since, well, not this account, but I've had an account since it was Justin.tv back when my conspiracy theory friend used to host his podcast on it.
That's funny. But it feels like a new, like how it acts, it feels like a newer company versus when you get to some companies been around for 40, 50, 60 years.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and they have to stay on top of it too.
Yeah, especially nowadays. Gotta cheat the label. Where's the label?
Thank you again, Cryo.
There it is.
Hey, I'm gonna show them your work. So Let me unlock.
Go right ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna do this on the fly in OBS because I can't change the scene. Because if I change if I change the scene, I'll lose your audio, which is amazeballs. Oh, it's so close. Oh, there. Well,
you just gotta throw in, then you gotta add in the audio, right, to this new scene.
Yeah. So here's his UFO drawing, guys. Can you turn it 90 degrees? Counterclockwise?
Oh, right on.
The other way, yeah.
Oh.
Is that your mic?
Yeah. I'm in a small space. It's like an old work desk. It's, I bought this when I was...
Yeah.
I get this desk. I got this desk freshman year in high school. So there's no real computer setup made for it.
Cryo says cool ink work.
Thank you.
Yeah, she's a fellow inker. Most of her stuff is pen and ink. She does really good pen and ink stuff. That's why I found her.
Right on. I'm trying to get more into it.
I love inking.
Yeah, it's for me though. It's because it makes me a lazy penciler.
Really? I found the opposite. I found that my pencils have to be really tight now, or my inks get super sloppy. Okay. Here's what I was working on, guys. This is a Boba Fett from a couple days ago.
Is that going to become a pin at some point?
It is going to be a pin at some point. I'm gonna do one or two more versions of it, and then pick one.
Right on.
Let's see. How do I say this name? Futneraz. I'm just gonna call you Fut. Yeah, Fut. This is Boba. If you want to see Mando, here's my Mandalorian. And I have enamel pins of this for sale on my website at the moment, artofwarlick.com. If you're into pins.
Pins are a thing now.
They are. It's funny. They're like my best-selling thing now.
It's product. We kind of saw it on the anime side. So what we saw was a move away from prints and books, and more into like knickknacks, especially things that are a little more practical. Because at a certain point, you can't keep buying prints. You just run out of wall space.
Yeah, you do.
But a bunch of little pins you can totally stick on a jacket until forever.
And I went the original art route where I was collecting art for a while, but it's the same thing. It's like you get so much and you can't put it on the walls anymore. You have to start putting it in a book, and then it seems counterproductive to buy it and store it away.
Yep. We don't have a lot of room left in the living room. And I know I got pieces in the flat file and pieces in a portfolio somewhere.
Thanks for the alert, Cryo. I'm going to be on for a while, so holla.
Word.
Yeah, that's the other cool thing I like about Twitch is it's a little more informal than like YouTube feels to me. Especially in for the artist community, because it's breaks are encouraged. So at the 3-hour mark, I throw up a break screen and go get my head right, get a snack, top off my coffee, whatever.
Because it's mostly experience live.
Yeah,
that's the goal. That's the big functionality of it. It's live.
Yeah.
Versus YouTube is like a show that you watch.
Yeah, YouTube is more on your own time, I feel.
Yeah.
That's why I like double dipping content and streaming stuff live and then putting the edit, the time lapse edit up on YouTube. It seems a good way to go.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I always tell people to use different platforms for different things. Have you got any COVID work at all?
I have not gotten any COVID work.
People pivoting or something?
I have had a company that pivoted. I'm doing some web design for a company, and we were in the middle of a design project when it hit, and they had to pivot hard.
Okay.
Because they basically serve the restaurant and hospitality industries.
Nah, shit.
Yeah. So they do labor management software.
Okay.
And so immediately half of their clients cut their budget in half, and everyone freaked out and started making moves. But they've been around long enough. They got enough capital. They're not They're not hurting yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean we just signed another design project with them.
Oh, cool.
So like I got to do another batch of web design stuff in
There you go.
the next week or two. Start that next week.
I got a lot of ads for printers because I do all the publishing stuff and printing stuff. So a lot of the printers are like, hey, you need signs for your store, you need banners for the outside to let people know you're open, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's
I was
funny you
like, oh, that's
mentioned
cool.
that. A lot of the a lot of like the print shops we use are doing the same thing. Like I tried to order some stickers the other day, and Sticker Mule is like not taking new orders because they're like we're basically booked printing COVID stuff. You know, we'll let you
Yep.
know when we open back up.
Yep, I can see that.
Let's see, original Bojack says I like Twitch as I'm a very isolated person. It allows me to learn to socialize again. YouTube just feels like TV, and I don't learn as much.
Yeah,
I
I
feel
can see
that.
that.
Yeah, I started off on YouTube, so like YouTube to me is like YouTube is where I go to like learn stuff.
It's programming. It's TV. We don't have like what is TV? I go to YouTube and watch 20-minute TV shows with no commercials,
Yeah, basically
or 10-minute TV shows with no commercials.
almost everything I watch now is either art or science related too.
Oh,
I've
really?
tried to like cut out the news diet down to small bits because I
For you, that's a good idea.
yeah I get lost in it. I'm way more productive when I'm not focused on the
Every
news.
once in a while, I can see you on Facebook. I'm like, oh, Matt's spiraling.
Yeah, Matt read something that pissed him off.
Yeah, yeah. He went down a political rabbit hole. We'll see you tomorrow.
It's funny. I hit a point about I don't know 2 or 3 weeks after the COVID thing hit where I was just like, you know what, I'm done. I was like, I'm just I'm raged out. I'm just gonna do art and make art.
Yeah. Like to me, what I feel is like There's only so much I can do as a citizen. Uh, I believe my family would get mad at me if I stormed the White House.
Yeah.
Hey man, I see on the news you can storm a government facility with weapons and nothing happens. If I want to go the other way, I can totally do it.
Yeah.
But I can't do it, so I gotta build.
You can also open up your salon in the snooty part of Dallas, and they'll retroactively change executive orders for you.
Yeah, for real.
You just got to be a rich white woman.
Shit, it's like, oh cool, I'm gonna open my business then. This was hard to open up a business at this point. You gotta do curbside all the way.
Yeah, you can't do much more.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Did I hear something? Don't think so. It's weird. I'm not used to streaming with headphones on. Usually, I just stream.
Oh, right
I
on.
just stream raw, talking to the snowball, but with the headphones on, it like I feel like I'm in a cave, and so like every once in a while I realize, oh, there's like cats and dogs and shit around me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, in your household, I get cats outside of my house fighting.
That sounds awful.
Well, there's something living in underneath the barn in the back or the shed in the back. I see every once in a while. There was a dog in my backyard for a bit. I haven't seen it in a while. It dug a giant hole, which I'm now using as a compost pile, which is thankful. I was like, okay, cool, you dug me a hole. I'll use this thing.
How random.
Yeah, for some reason, because it's about the size of the dog. For some reason, I feel it did it to keep warm and or cool.
Yeah, probably. That's how they build dens.
Yeah, and so it's just I have another one in the back of my backyard. It's a giant backyard, for me at least. So I was like, oh, I'll just start a compost. I'll just use this hole here. It's already here. And then the cat lives underneath, and I think it fights with the other cat in the neighborhood. So no, I was here first, bitch. Outie.
And I'm out.
Yeah.
Nah. Yeah, we don't have we have a lot of squirrels. That's about it here.
Oh, right on. I've only seen 1 or 2 squirrels, but I see a lot of cats. That's probably why I don't see a lot of squirrels.
Yeah, there's usually one or the other. I'm on the second floor, and there's lots of trees,
Oh, okay.
so it's like the perfect squirrel breeding ground. It's like that,
Gotcha.
and then it's the really rude woman across the street and all her dogs. That
Oh.
yeah, her dogs bark and she just yells at them.
Oh
But
no.
she just like she just, yeah, so she just kind of like stands like she just sits on her porch and yells at her dogs all day.
Jesus.
Yeah, it can be nerve wracking. I may have gotten into a screaming argument with her today.
Oh no, Matt, don't do that.
Just couldn't take it.
I remember listening to Bobby Lee. He said he was at a movie theater and he was laughing loudly at a like it was a scary movie. So he was freaking out. He's being weird, and then someone shushed him.
Ah!
And then afterwards, he said we were wrong. We were. The girlfriend was like, so we were following them through the mall, yelling at them.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she's like, we should have just said sorry and walked away. Like,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like I kind
I
of
was, I
felt
was like,
bad afterwards, but like at the same time, I know like it's a problem in our neighborhood. Like
oh yeah,
everyone knows her because she just sits out there and screams all day, but no one wants to say anything.
yeah, you gotta do something, right?
Yeah, I just hit a point today. I was doing something. I think I was trying to read, and like it's just the shrillest, like high pitched
Uh,
scream. I was just like, I can't.
can't do it anymore.
And to be fair, I'm not the most tactful person, but I was just like, could you please shut up? And I got back like just a fuck you, you skinny fuck, like go the fuck inside and like do some drugs. And I was like, what?
Jesus, that's an interesting place to go right away.
Yeah, it was super, super. She's got issues, you can tell. I don't want to talk too
Yeah,
badly about her, but if you've ever had one of those neighbors, you know what I'm talking about.
for real, especially where you live.
Yeah, like everyone here's chill but her. Like
Oh
all my
really?
other neighbors,
Okay,
yeah, they're super chill. Like I mean, they're loud, but they're like normal loud.
I gotcha.
I kind of live in the ghetto. Like I live on the east side. But it's just like Mexican families. They
Yeah,
just like party on the weekends. It's not a big deal.
they do.
They do seriously. There's like
I talked.
there's a cookout
I asked,
like every weekend.
I asked my coworker one day. It's like, was there like a Hispanic holiday, Mexican holiday? Because every Mexican family was like popping out in their yard. He's like, no, it's Saturday. I'm like,
Yeah, it's just
okay.
Saturday. It's just what they do. Like even when we were
It's like,
locked
gotcha, bro.
down, even during lockdown,
Yeah.
they have parties. But
Mm-hmm.
but they don't just sit on the porch and scream.
Yeah. Yeah, we get music, we get some karaoke. Uh, it's not so bad.
Do
It's not
we?
like they ever play it super late either. So by the time night rolls around, they're gone or they're done.
One of my chatters said, "Do you have the door-to-door tamale lady?" And we do not, but we have a door.
Oh shit.
We have a guy who. Well, we used to. I haven't seen him in a minute. We have a guy who used to roll a tamale cart around.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
but I haven't seen him and like I stopped seeing him before the lockdown. So I wonder what happened to him.
Yeah. We used to have a guy to drop by my office. I forget where he's at now. I followed him on Facebook. Salsa Louie.
Nice. Okay, shout out to. Oh, it's you
Shut
again.
up.
It's footer as it's the foot. He's my 50th.
The fuck?
I got them 50. I got 51 followers
Nice.
thanks to him and Crown Mara. Now I just got to get my average viewer count up, and then we'll see what perks being an affiliate brings, if any.
Oh, that's cool.
I think they keep your video on demands longer. A few other
Oh,
things.
okay.
Yeah. Like I said, it's gamified, so you like level up. It's interesting.
That's how you do it.
It is how you do it.
That's how I look at life. That's how I look at my jobs. Like honestly, it has like, looking at my previous job as a place to grind and level up, like really, really helped me.
Yeah.
Like I left that place with way more skills than if I just did my job. Like I had to I had to actively do things to earn new skills, learn on the job. Uh, I remember in a meeting we're trying to sell a client on an app essentially, like an interactive thing that they can show on the screen, like a presentation. And he kept asking for examples. I was like, I don't have any. He looked at me. He's like, "Is this the first time you've done this?" He's like, "Yep, this is the first time we'll be doing this. I'll be figuring this out as I go." He goes, "Do you think you can pull it off?" Like, yeah, it all makes sense. I don't see why it won't work. He's like, okay.
Nice.
He gave us the he's like, all right, and pay for the project. I was like, hell yeah.
It's a good attitude to have, though. I do that when people ask for stuff. I'm like if I legitimately think I can do it, I'm like, yeah, I'll learn how.
It's what once you get into even like the broadcast stuff. Once you have the experience in say like Photoshop or Premiere or After Effects or just like learning Photoshop. From Photoshop and knowing the pen tool, you can learn Illustrator pretty quickly.
Yep. Yep.
And once you learn how to use the blocks and placement concept of InDesign, you can do more in Illustrator. You can now do a little more in Photoshop. You can do, and then once that all you can translate that into Premiere and After Effects pretty easily, I feel.
Yeah, Premiere was pretty easy to pick up because it's basically just Photoshop with a timeline.
Yeah. I look at Premiere as just an editing tool. It helps me do my cuts. Because that's how my friend looked at it. He says, you cut your movie in Premiere and then you clip out the scenes to do your special effects and After Effects. So out of Premiere, he'll have like a rough cut. I was like, okay.
Oh, okay, I see.
He was he did commercials and things like that. So that's how he has a slightly different.
No, he's got real experience.
Yeah. Which is funny because I gave him a Photoshop file to translate into a motion graphic, and he says you have all these effects on these layers. I just don't know how to translate, so I have to do it this way. But when I was doing it, I understood how I was using Photoshop, so I knew how to make that same effect in Premiere or After Effects.
Oh yeah, they're super similar.
Yeah, but he didn't use a lot of Photoshop, so he didn't know how to translate what I was doing in Photoshop into After Effects. And that's what happens when you hand off a project to somebody, anyways.
Yeah, you're just at their mercy.
Yeah, it's like, are your layers named or not, or is it layer 83, group 25?
You gotta name those layers, son.
Yeah, I end up doing it just as I go because I'm moving things around and I need them labeled so I can work quickly.
Yeah, I got in the habit doing web design because you have to label everything because like
Yeah,
you're gonna hand it off to a developer and they have to know what they're looking at.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I've gotten jobs too where they're like, can you send me a file? Like, can you send me an example file so I can see how you build your files?
Right on.
And it's funny because I prepped one specifically for that. Like, I took an old web design and like that's the one I send out now because it's like every layer is named and every layer is in a folder that is one section of the page and they're color coded.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you've got to get specific.
Yeah.
And then if you're working with something like Adobe XD where you're exporting stuff, you have like it has to be named because if you name it layer 83, it's going to export it as like layer 83.png and then good luck.
Yep. Oh, you got to change that slice. Good luck.
Yeah, good luck finding it.
Good luck.
I like that we've totally derailed from UFOs.
Oh yeah. Well, we're what 3 hours, 4 hours into it.
Yeah, we're
now?
like, what does OBS say? Let me see. Yeah, it's funny. I can't tell how long I've been streaming. There's no like.
Oh.
I mean, I'm sure I can, but there's no like quick way to tell how long I've been streaming.
I just hop on the tube. If I can get my mouse to it. There you go. Damn, wrong one. Let's see.
Yeah, we're at 3 hours, 15 minutes.
Yep. Started 3 hours ago.
Right on. Yeah, you guys missed the first part of the conversation. We were talking about UFOs because that's kind of my thing.
Yeah.
But you can go to his YouTube and watch it.
Yep.
Do you have a custom URL? Is it
not yet?
Not yet. Okay.
Nope. I need 100 subscribers.
Hey guys, here I'm gonna share some love. Here's us streaming. You're gonna get some Inception going on.
Oh yeah.
Go follow Fully Artomatic on YouTube. I'm circling it now. Go follow, share the love. One of us. That's my favorite thing about Twitch. Actually, it reminds me of like old DeviantArt communities where it was like an actual community instead of just instead of everybody just trying to get the most likes and views. It's like, oh, let's hang out and we'll critique each other's work, and you show me what you're working on, I'll show you what I'm working on.
Yeah, that's cool. That's been what I've been trying to encourage with the art club kids and all of us. Just always says steel sharpens steel, so
Yep.
you can only be better if you're around better people.
Yeah. Well, let me know if you want to call it. If you want to keep going.
What time? I probably should call it.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna take a streaming break. I need to stretch my legs.
Sounds good. Sounds fun. It was fun. We should do this again.
Yeah, we need to do like a Friday night.
Art
We need to
jam.
like just do a standing date.
Yeah.
Be our mandate.
More, especially now. I am working from home. They gave me the announcement today. I am
nice.
here until I am working from home until June 30th.
Oh wow, that's a good chunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just do weekly. What was the YouTube channel name? Here, hold on. It was. I'm just gonna copy a link into the chat. Let me.
Fully Artomatic. It is a pun. It is a gun pun, which wasn't so bad at the time, but now I'm not sure. But it's okay.
It would help if I spelled it right. Fully
Artomatic.
I spelled it Fult. Fult Artomatic.
So we go fully automatic.
Boom. I'll get you some followers.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Like I said, you got to build that community.
Yeah.
It's much more constructive than just reading news and rage Facebooking.
Yeah. You gotta stay away from that Facebook, dog.
Dude, that's my goal is to like be pretty much Facebook free by like my birthday at the end of June.
That's good.
Like I'm trying to use it just less and less. Like try to post more art and like just art, just interact with other artists.
At one point, and it helped a lot, I actively went in and delete when you hit the letter F, you know how it kind of pre-does that Facebook for you?
Yeah.
I deleted it.
Oh, that's so smart.
And then on my bookmarks bar, I bookmarked my Facebook page so I can go post things in my page. Then I bookmarked my profile. So I only really go to I try to only go to those two spots.
That's really smart. You have to be a lot more intentional with what you're going to do.
I'll go to the main one. I'll scroll through and see what's going on. But if it's like political craziness, I try to skim over it because it can't be good. You know?
Yeah.
Like it can't be good. And it's an echo chamber. I don't hear a lot of the other side, to be quite honest. I see it every once in a while, but Facebook knows pretty well. So it diverts it pretty quickly. So it's not healthy.
Yeah, I feel that. I'm much happier when I'm making stuff instead of just consuming stuff.
That's a good idea.
Original Bojack says done. He is subscribed. He or she is subscribed.
They are. Or they.
They also said, I don't use Facebook. I deleted it, but someone reopened it and seems to be using it for me.
I guess that works.
That sounds like a security issue.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too, right? Like, it's too good. Facebook is too aggressive and it's too good.
You know, it's funny. Like, I have such a love-hate relationship with it because the only reason I have it is because at one point it was really good for sharing art and getting work, getting sales.
Yep.
And it seems to be less and less good for that as time goes on.
Yeah, I think because the fake news got on way too hard.
Yeah, it's super political, and like I'm guilty of that too a lot. It's one of the reasons I've been trying not to post political stuff lately.
Did I ever tell you about the fake news I saw? I saw a news post that Donald Trump got into a car accident on Preston Road.
What?
That was the headline. And then, or car accident, and then the 2 sentences below it was like Preston Road. It didn't make the grammar was bad.
Yeah, it usually is.
What the hell? Like, what is this? And it was from like U.S. News, something very generic. So I clicked it, and it took me to like a GeoCities site. Like it wasn't GeoCities, but it looked like GeoCities.
Old school. Like
banners were is in a grid. The banner wasn't lining up. Things were flashing. Weird GIFs. I was like, what? I didn't even stay there. I automatically backed out because like, oh, spam site. I gotta get out of there.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a goddamn minute. What did I just see? And I went back to found the post again, and it was funny because the comments were people who obviously didn't read the byline or the summary lines, only read the headlines and didn't click.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
And that was when I found out that Facebook can track whether or not you read an article.
Yep. And so if you click it, they'll feed you more just to click.
Yeah. So if it was just right after your election, so it felt like an leftover political ad that the AI was kind of just running on its own. And it was either at the end of the budget, so nothing made sense, or it just had gone rogue.
Yeah.
Not rogue, but like the it started to break down and didn't have any direction anymore.
Yeah,
it was
someone
weird.
left their campaign running, and like the auto-generated ads are still going.
And so it was because Facebook can tell if you read an article, if you clicked an article, if you engage with it. So as a person who's trying to astroturf, the people who just read the headlines, I would just write a sensational headline and put a bunk website behind it, because why put in that effort? And so the people who actually click on the website build an actual website for them to click through.
Yep.
And so build an actual thing and send it that way, because we do it at we're graphic designers, we're branders. This is what we do.
Yeah, we've been parts of those teams that do that. Maybe not for political stuff, but yeah, totally.
My team says we can tell if they're married or not married, or they're about to be married. We can tell if they have a family. We can tell what religion they are, and that's what they tell us straight up. We can, once you start overlapping those things, you can infer. You can start inferring a lot of things.
Yeah, you start building audiences and like finding the psychological profiles of the people you want to interact with your ad. It's crazy.
The best story is Target told a dad that his daughter was pregnant.
Oh, I remember that story. Yeah.
Yep. Like, I was like, okay, it's the AI works.
That goes back to the machine learning, where it's like if you feed it the right data, it can process, like it can not only can it process it faster, but it can make connections that like a human brain might not see.
Yeah, it's like if I know this particular person always seems to really engage on these types of posts, I will make sure to show them only those types of posts.
I still do it, but I report a lot of ads, like ads that I don't want to see, or that
you gotta train it.
Yeah, like you train it. I just report them, but I also make sure I interact with a ton of art. Like I love every art piece that comes across my feed. I joined a bunch of art groups. I joined a bunch of like art appreciation groups.
That's good.
So like I'm in that big Jim Lee appreciation group, which is fun. Like it's super positive. It's always just people sharing art and how awesome it is. There's never any politics.
That's good.
Yeah, just more of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's good for you at the end of the day.
Yeah, but like so many of my friends are always outraged too. It's hard to just like, you just gotta scroll past that outrage.
Yeah, it's been I've started just hiding them. Like, sorry, bro.
Yeah,
you're not.
I do the 30 days.
I can't help you. Yeah, I can't help you. You can't help me. Especially in this phase. And I'm not informed enough to bite back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I look at it like that's not my. The full detail of it is just not my lane. I can't dig into it. It's a full-time. It's a career.
It is. Yeah, you have to pick one. It's like, all right, I'm gonna make art. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, that's what I gotta do.
Like I'm just gonna make weird stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So I'm gonna wrap it up.
Yeah, let's wrap it up. All right, let's set a date. You want to just try to do like Fridays at like 10 or 11?
Yeah. Let's do late night Fridays and just kind of keep it weird.
That's good for me too, because evidently Twitch likes you to have a schedule. Like, I mean, it's just like every other algorithm. They want you to like post up at the same times every week.
That's what I learned at BronyCon.
Okay, so make a note that we need to start our next one with that.
Me going to BronyCon?
Yes, I want to know what BronyCon taught you about the algorithm. Hold on, I'm gonna make notes because this is another thing I need to do. I need to start making notes for when I chat with people.
The Brony community is built on those things. Like they're the celebrities within the community are YouTube celebrities.
No, okay, yeah.
Like besides the guests who are like make the show, the guests were YouTube guests.
Okay.
And so we sat down on a couple of my Ruby sat down on one that's more about marketing, and I sat down on one that's more about the hardware.
I bet it has a lot of overlap with VidCon.
Yeah. Same people.
Yeah. Because VidCon's all YouTubers.
The panel I went to, the guy had a gimmick. He was very articulate. He had a very nice theater voice. He's done it a lot. Like he's done it a lot. He spoke a lot live, so it's not a big deal to him. And he went through all the hardware and stuff that he was talking about. It was the stuff I was looking at for my work at a $1 million trade show level. Like this is kind of the stuff we were doing on a small scale on my workplace that we're gonna start ramping up from there. So it was very professional work. The quality they were looking at.
Nice.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, we can talk about BronyCon. It was a fun one.
Yeah, we'll kick that off. That'll give you an awesome thumbnail to make.
Oh yeah, my garbage file.
Yeah. Well, cool, man. It's fun hanging out.
Yeah, for real.
Being socially distant is weird, even when you're a hermit. Like, I think I've reached my limit. I need human interaction again.
Yeah, you can only watch so many Netflix and YouTube before you gotta give something and have something respond back to you.
Yeah, like I love podcasts. I love listening to other people talk, but yeah, I wanna be involved again.
You you want someone to make sure you acknowledge your existence. I remember you and me were at a taco joint once, and no one was paying attention to us. Like no one at the register was like. People in the kitchen just kind of looked at it, like in our direction, and then just kept doing what they were doing. And you looked over at me, it's like we died 10 minutes ago. And we just don't realize it. We just don't realize it yet.
Yeah, we're dead. This is what being a ghost is like.
Yeah, I was like for a split second, I was like, this would be like no one. We're just standing here and no one cares. That would be so weird. Like it's kind of what we're going through, right? We're going through day to day and not having things react to us because we're isolated.
Yeah.
It's tricky. So there's my old pirate ship with space aliens.
Here, I'm gonna blow it up again for the people in my chat. Let's do this.
Because that's what I remember. The guy says there's an account from Columbus about seeing something weird in the sky.
Yep.
So these guys have been around forever.
Turn it just a touch more if you can.
This way?
It actually came out really, yeah, that way.
Oh, the camera's at a wonked out angle, bro.
Yeah.
It actually probably looked way more natural because the view is flipped 180. That's why the angle's so strange.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But once you flip it 180, like it makes a little more sense. But yeah, I have no desk space. So I gotta make do.
If that doesn't sell, so I might buy that from you just because I love UFO stuff. Now I kind of want it.
Alright. I'll keep adding to it. Cool. I'm gonna stop my stream. Peace
Sweet.
out. Let me grab my logo.
Word. Throw it up there.
All the art. Cool. And stop streaming. And I gotta go to YouTube to stop streaming.
Yeah, you do. All right, man. I'll talk to you before Friday, but we'll talk again on Friday.
Cool. Sounds good. Talk to you later, bro.
Peace, man.
Peace out.
There's the Skype sound. And we're out. Alright guys, I'm going to take a break. Enjoy my new break screen featuring my pets. And we're back. Guys, my cats are freaking the fuck out right now. Test. All right. Snowball's working. Good to go. How's everybody doing? Again, thank you, Cryo, for the raid. Most viewers I've ever had. Much love. Now I gotta decide if I want to work on something else or if it's time to crash. Since it's almost 3 a.m. my time, I hadn't really planned to do anything today. So during our conversation, I penciled this, something explained it on the stream. It's my dream of the end of all space and time. It's like a sun and an inky black sea, an oily inky black sea. So I got that out. And then we talked about UFOs and these UFOs that a Navy pilot described as metal cubes inside giant transparent beach balls. So that's 2 pieces roughed out for the night. I think that's pretty good. Especially for a day off. You know, I need to find a channel to raid if I'm gonna bail, for sure. I wish more of my friends were night owls. I see you waving, Bojack. Do you make art too? Or do you just have a cool avatar? This might actually work better as a... yeah. Word. Breaks are good. Refocusing my center. I feel that making art is my center. It's like the only thing that keeps me sane. Oh, that cube is so off, guys. I gotta fix that. But for a sketch, it's good. Proud of those clouds. Digital painting is not my strong suit, for sure. And definitely more pen and ink. Again, if you're listening, go check out my buddy Luan's YouTube. Fully Artomatic. Oh, cats. Yep. Alright guys, I'm gonna call it a night. Let's find someone to raid. What are y'all in the mood for? Definitely more art. This guy's pretty cool. Mr. Creep. Creep Show. Dark art. He's one of the first guys I followed. Oh, he's working on a cool piece too. Alright, yeah, we're gonna raid Mr. Creep. Exclamation point raid or slash. 3 E's in that P. Alright. Thanks for coming out, guys. I appreciate you. Let's raid. Maybe not. Oh, I have a raid in progress. Oh, I have to confirm it. I'm an idiot. All right, here we go. Raid in 3, 2, 1.